I'm telling you guys, this is so far, I think this is pretty high level Overwatch. It's not perfect. It never will be. Nobody can sit here. It's easy to sit here and analyze and nitpick, but I'm very pleased at this level of Overwatch from both of these teams so far. Yes! 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 I put out a poll and people were like, you know, we'd prefer to see this match over the finals. And I have seen, I don't think I watched a single even team fight of this map, or this match. I don't know anything about it outside of GLADS did win, spoilers. I think 3-2. I didn't watch really much of the program this day, even though I heard it was pretty good. So we're going into this with fresh eyes. We're going to be talking about general macro stuff. Now, because it is 5 maps, I am going to try to not repeat myself over and over and over and over again with stuff. I'm going to give a general breakdown, critique stuff as necessary, and then my goal is to pick up a little bit of speed as we move on from map to map, especially if the compositions stay the same. So I don't want to completely like just go over the same stuff over and over and over again. Okay? All right, sounds good. Kevster, Kai, Dante, Babel, Astro, Lipstalker, Donhack. Somebody taught me how to pronounce it a couple weeks ago and I've already forgotten. Chio and Fielder. Okay, let's take a look.
Winston and the Hammond with their dive with
now, the big differences between these compositions, it's really not as complicated as you think it is. It's essentially 2 things, okay? One is this hero, open sightlines, not that complicated. That's a horrible color. Open sightlines, or horrible thickness. Open sightlines, get early pressure on Tracer, get early pressure on Lucio and Ana, but mostly it's going to be one of these 2 heroes because those are the actual threats. So you need to ounce of preventions worth the pound of cure. You can shoot the Tracer, you can shoot the Winston, force resources with them on the back foot before they dive. Then this hero's fragility, at least relative fragility, isn't that big of a deal. Now also keep in mind, chat, this is the 225 HP Cassidy with the, was it 130 sticky? Something along those lines. Can I move cam? Yes, I can. That's actually a good point here. I need to be moving my camera. My camera is in the way. Give me just a second. I can also shrink my camera here. Face cam. The less you see of me, the better. Is that okay? No, you won't be able to see cooldowns. Let's just do what I think this worked pretty well last time. Yeah, this one is pretty simple as well. They're going to be looking for either isolated targets to dive, or they're going to be staging Lip all the way behind them because it's, remember, Sombra infinite stealth, so free staging, and looking for a dive on backline. Now, that means that these guys need to avoid taking damage from the Cassidy as much as they possibly can. And yeah, let's take a look here. So dive, all about space, all about setting up angles, and so on. Okay. Logo mine. Yeah, of course, mate. I'm really, really glad to hear it. Congratulations. That's mostly on you, though. That's mostly on you. What happened to Ana instead of Kiriko? So we talked a little about this before. It really comes down to 2 things, okay? One, Kiriko has received nerfs over time. Kitsune Rush is probably worse than Nano Boost in the way dives are being played right now. It's definitely worse than Nano Boost because there's a couple of things with Kitsune Rush. Not only has it been nerfed, but as Tracer has grown stronger, the value of Kitsune Rush has plummeted because Kitsune Rush is an area of effect ultimate. Tracer generally doesn't stack in the middle of these fights. Tracer is off taking angles on left, right, or a backline, right? So Tracer doesn't benefit from Kitsune Rush, so the value of the Kitsune Rush plummets. That being said, Nano Boost value gets extra value because not only can you nano your Winston, you can also nano your Tracer. Also, nano on Cassidy is pretty darn good right now as well. Now you could also argue that Suzu's pretty good on Cassidy as well, and I would agree. I don't think Kiriko is a bad hero in this composition. I think Kiriko has every right to be almost as good, if not as good as Ana. But there's one other factor that I think is probably changing how these things are being played, is I think the idea that you have some sort of more ranged heal option is very, very helpful. I'm a little surprised to see Ana run on this map, even though there is some range to this map. I feel like Kiriko's wall climb and mobility and the somewhat shorter sightlines of this map compared to a map like Ilios Ruins or Esperanca is a little bit surprising to me. But I guess teams might be rolling out their Ana on main where they have good sightlines, or maybe rolling out on high ground. So basically TLDR is that a Nano Boost better than Kiriko in dive comps because of Tracer. Also, Ana buffs because 75 damage, Kiriko nerfs with her healing output and her Kitsune Rush. In addition to that, I think that teams might it just might be that this is just something that they like playing in more open space maps. That's my guesses.
It is, you have the best Sombra to ever play the game with.
Now you're going to already notice, with no surprise, where these teams are rotating to. Do you see this? Team with a Cassidy rotates on main, longer sightlines. Team with a Winston or the Sombra rotates on cover, shorter sightlines, more cover, easier staging for onto the backline. Not a surprise here. What is interesting to me is Funny Astro actually rolling out on top. Does anyone want to guess about why Funny Astro is rolling out on top? Very clear reason why he's rolling out on top.
All the way from Atlanta, unless we see Hawk in, that's when we see his switch formation.
There's the free stage on the dive, Sombra on the backline. The unfortunate thing is if you look at Stalker and Donhack's HP when they dive, full HP, no damage. Actually, they do get a shot on Stalker, so that prevents, but Stalker is able to get in anyway. And I'm not a huge fan of this positioning here, but yeah, they're trying. Sombra TP, get rid of the Tracer flank. Yeah, he's trying to mark Tracer on the high ground, but Stalker just stages not on high ground. So it's a very common rollout from Tracer to go high ground. And if Tracer wasn't marked here, this pincer from the Sombra, the Tracer, and the Winston would have been lethal. So yeah. But the unfortunate thing is that Stalker isn't there, or Stalker does go high, but you can see Stalker right here. I can't even see him right now, but I saw that he was there a moment ago. So he sees Lucio, he drops, and then dives in this way. Kai, unfortunately, is picking an angle where there is no Winston and there is no Tracer, so there's no peel whatsoever. I don't even think Astro is there to peel at all. Astro is very late. So Atlanta just out-tempos them. They're trying to mark them, but they just fail miserably. This is a really quick setup dive, very decisive. They had the angles that they needed to make a successful dive. The reason why map control and angles matter is because it's what allows you to set up the access to the backline. Atlanta had the angles they needed. No reason to hesitate. Go. By the way, big shout to Kenobi and Rich Rat. I think this was their first. Was it their first game? Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was their second game.
You might not even need the tank. You can just get kills because Lip is so good at this.
Lip staging. Do we have the angles for a dive here? If not, we're getting good scouting on backline. There's the angle. Where's my Tracer? Okay, where did Stalker come from? I don't even see Stalker. I think Stalker could have come from here. I honestly, this is where like having a replay code is really, really rough. But yeah, something like this is likely to happen. And then Sombra from top, and then Winston jumping from here. Are we able to get pressure on Donhack? We are able to get pressure on Donhack. So you guys can see already before Donhack even lands, he's already outside of armor. So if we can potentially peel off Babel, which we do, look at Babel's rotation here. He actually jukes the entire dive. He drops from high ground and rotates forward. Do you see that? That's actually a really, really tight play from Babel, so that he actually avoids the Sombra, avoids the Lucio, or the Winston, excuse me, and the Tracer flank as well by tucking into cover here. And now, because Kai was able to take an early angle and get pressure on Donhack, Donhack actually might die for this jump. This is really good. Brilliant, really, really, really nice peel. They do get a big they get a huge anti-nade. And there it is. Huge anti-nade. So it was a good dive. It was a good peel. Just a better nade. I don't know where Dante is. I would want Dante to be controlling the enemy Ana. Where does that nade come from? I think it just comes from main. Yeah, it just comes from main. So you can make a pretty good argument here that Dante's bubble should have been placed better. So what I mean by that is you have to think about, if you're not diving in as Winston, yeah, this is actually kind of a... So it looks like Dante's trying to jump the Tracer. So Dante jumps the Tracer as Stalker's coming underneath. But the problem is that opens up this lane for anti-nades to come in. I think I would prefer... I know I would prefer Dante to probably either be jumping Lip and then trying to just not use my bubble, and then save it for a little bit later, or to make sure that his bubble cuts off this lane right here, so there's no anti-nade follow-up. See, that's why you want your Winston usually counter-diving the enemy Ana, is to prevent the follow-up. But if Dante doesn't feel that he's safe counter-diving, he at the very least needs to make sure that his bubble blocks off the enemy Ana LOS, and he needs to make sure that he's protecting the Sombra. So not a great engage from Winston, because I don't think pressure on Tracer is something that a Winston can do consistently enough, as opposed to denying enemy anti-nade and Sombra. No Hill VOD reviews in 1.5. Okay. Yeah, sure, mate. Congratulations. Early angle, just gonna farm a little bit of EMP.
Will have it most likely in this next fight, and Gladiators don't really have a leg to stand on.
No, not at all.
So, old economy here. I'm thinking it's probably gonna be just a quick EMP, and that's gonna put this in single fight territory. I think if you're GLADS here, I actually think you need to play this one really carefully, because you either need to force a bad EMP or you need to wait until you actually build a beat. Because it's not just about, oh, beat counters EMP. You just don't have anything for EMP. You literally don't have anything. And if you're also ult tracking properly, you're also tracking beat and nano as well. You just don't have anything to take this fight. So what you could do then is try to make them impatient. When you are at a disadvantage, just be baity. Bait them into a bad dive. So either they're going to overextend and you get a kill, or it's going to cost them more ultimates than it would otherwise. So don't play this one fair. So this is a good rollout from GLADS. And then what you can do from here is you can sit back here, try to peel off the dive as best as you can, but have Kevster aggressively mark their Tracer or their Sombra and look for a pulse bomb kill. And what that will do is, if Kevster is able to aggressively mark one of these targets right here, any EMP dive is going to be significantly weaker. They'll be much more likely to be able to peel it off. In addition to that, if we're able to hard focus out their Tracer, which we should with our Cassidy and Ana LOS, which they can see into here, right? Then Kevster can actually look for like a pulse bomb on Dawn Hack, maybe force some space, maybe force a mistake, create some space for Kai. We do not want to put ourselves in a diveable location really at all, period, but especially when we're in a situation where we don't have any ultimates for their really three. So backline needs to play really careful. We need to put a lot of attention. Oh, Dante needs to not be taking damage here. Dante is like honestly kind of feeding, because even if he doesn't like get killed here, he's gonna get his bubble forced, and that means that they're just that much more fragile to follow up on the EMP, and he can't counter dive. Yeah, that's too cheap. That's too cheap. That's going to set them back a long time. And that's, now we're in one fight territory, and they've not used anything. You're like, well, that's not one fight territory. It's 70%. It's one fight territory. Because by the time stuff actually happens here, it's one fight territory. We still don't have beat. Okay, so this is what we want to see from Kai, right? Or Kevster, excuse me. Setting up angles. There's Tracer. There's Tracer. There's Tracer. There's Tracer. There's Tracer. I'm honestly shocked at what GLADS are doing right now. GLADS are going in very hard. Now, this could work if they blow up. It's probably going to be Dawn Hack or Stalker. Maybe force a recall or force bubble in a defensive jump maybe before the nano goes. This is an unbelievable risky play. I don't know. This is crazy. Honestly, for this to work, they're going to have to do one of two things. They're going to need to hit a stick onto his support, or they're going to need to blow up one of these two targets and force recall and bubble quickly. Maybe force him to mess up their tempo. Like Winston jumps up because he gets blown up. Tracer blinks up because she gets blown up. And then they go for like an EMP or nano, and it's awkward because half the team is disengaged. So this has to happen right now. I don't like it, though. There's EMP. And that's it. Oh my gosh, Kevster. There's the nano boost. They do juke the dive from Dawn Hack though, so that's big. The EMP is also terrible. So one thing that GLADS have done well is they out tempo with the rotations and they juke dives. Do you notice that? The nano and the EMP essentially just miss. Look at this. Winston's already in the air, landing here. GLADS completely juke it. So if Atlanta was just a little more patient here, this would have been a clean team wipe. What this is from okay, let me describe what this is from GLADS. This is a mistake punishing playstyle. where they're cohesive and they're punishing a mistake. But if Atlanta and GLADS are playing at the same skill level here in terms of like the scouting and execution, this doesn't work. So this is a little bit of a noob stomper play from GLADS. And it's executed well, so I'll give it credit. But this shouldn't work. You shouldn't be able to push or aggressively rotate and to double support ult and EMP without a single ult of your own besides pulse bomb and make it work. And in addition to that, it still wouldn't work if Kevster didn't hit the pulse, because they go, oh no, we messed it up, doesn't matter, we can still force all the cooldowns in the world, and then worst case scenario we can beat in or whatever. I mean, look at this. This is horrible, right? I honestly don't even know why we bubble so early there either, because there was no threat of sleep dart around that corner. This is the Vol fights. It comes down to coordination, mechanics, and Kevster is just better. That's all it is. Kevster. And a really nice rotation from GLADS. Super high risk. Kevster.
Right back into the boop of funny Astro, and that is a lot on Kevster. Like,
I mean, sometimes it's really just that simple. It was a great rotation from GLADS, though. I don't want that to be underrated, right? The backline rotation there. It's the second one in a row from Babel, by the way, right? Second one in a row where they actually just completely juke the dive. This should not have been. This should have been 100-0, and now we're in serious trouble.
Some survivability for Kai in that backline is Lip again looking and just making.
So, Primal Rage, Pulse Bomb from Atlanta, and Primal from Dante. So I imagine we will probably see a defensive nano onto Kai, because they have a tool or tools to go aggressive with. It's probably honestly better for Nano Cassidy anyway into the Sombra variant. But yeah. Need to be hard marking their tracer. Hard marking their tracer. There's the hack. There's the Winston. This is, by the way, a little bit... Where's Kevster, by the way? So Kevster's up top right. Stalker goes basically directly across to avoid Kevster. There's the Nano and Cassidy. Big surprise. Hard marking the peel. They disengage it. It's actually a pretty good dive from Atlanta, because they set it up pretty well. Yes, they use the pulse from, they don't get it, but it forces the defensive nano, and they do get a little bit of space out of it. There's the hack. Here comes the primal. Oh, they're split on targets. Okay, but they do get the kill. Yeah. I am surprised. I don't.
In terms of their ultimate economy, right?
Look at this fight again, y'all.
Is close towards that nano, so you have some survivability for Kai in that backline. Is Lip again looking and just making.
It feels like they're not doing a great job marking as well. Like I feel like Dawnhack and Stalker really should not be coming in at full HP. I don't know if this was being scared of a dive, but this kind of makes me sick to my stomach. Do you think Kevster's the best tracer in the league? Probably not. I don't really know. I haven't. It's impossible to study POVs, so I have no way of knowing. He's up there though. This can't happen. This can't happen. Like, you can't have a Sombra tracer dive when you have point control coming in at literally full resources and full HP. That's a mistake from probably a couple of standpoints. It's definitely a mistake from Kai's positioning. It's definitely a mistake from Kevster in some way, shape, or form, and probably also a mistake from Babel as well. Like, I think part of it is because this angle here, like they're like rotating and tucking in here. I don't know if they're trying to do these fast rotates into the enemy DPS or away from these dives. Like, I don't know if this was a failed attempt to do another like one of those weird rotates where we like try to juke the dive. But there has to be a balance between avoiding and juking the dive and like pre-setting up our feet and pre-poking the dive out ahead of time. In other words, like you're trying to go from point A to point B and like juke the dive, but also because you're rotating like that, Kai doesn't actually get any damage. Babel doesn't actually get any damage. Kevster doesn't actually get any damage on the divers before they actually dive. Like, Atlanta Rain comes in full HP. We defensively nano. He's still in the back line. Where even is Dawnhack? He's still in the back line. He's still in the back line. He's still not taking damage. The Lucio of all people is the one that's getting shot. Kai is able to force out, but then we're not even focused. We're not even peeling Kai. Also, Dante gets slapped. Can't have Dante getting slapped. Does he have bubble?
looking to try and maintain on this position.
Yeah, he should have bubble.
Even further, but Kai eliminated Stalker, finds it.
And that usually when you see Winston getting slept, most of the time that's a mechanics issue,
Knockback, get rid of a valve, now
where the Winston just isn't good enough. And again, this isn't a surprise. Like Dante, to be honest, Dante this season when he's not on Doomfist is going to be how little of a dead weight will he be. And I mean that with all due respect to Dante. He's just not going to be as good mechanically. He just isn't. Right now, anyway. Ram is pretty good? Okay, that's good to know. So Ram and Doomfist is pretty good. So by the end of the season, he could be one of the better tanks out there. I think when you have the game sense that Dante has and the raw mechanical capability, if he really applies himself and he gets good reps and gets good coaching, he could be a good tank by the end of the season. He's just not going to be it right now.
Because Rain got it to this position.
But that doesn't mean that he can't. But that doesn't mean that he can't get there.
Gladiators are walking into this fight and they don't have anything to
Yeah.
just the high noon. Kevster's already down. This EMP is going to do so much.
Yeah, that's it right there. So I think Atlanta did a really, really good job staging their dives. GLADS did a good job rotating and avoiding dives entirely. And Kevster obviously is just crazy. But I'm not pleased with how well Atlanta was, GLADS were quote unquote marking and like pre-pressuring the dive before it actually happened. Yeah, his primal mechanics have definitely improved. Definitely improved. I've noticed. Okay. I mean, really, guys, it's the exact same goal here. Nothing has changed here. The Kiriko ball implies a much more aggressive playstyle from Atlanta. In other words, much more. Your Kiriko is probably being used because they want to aggressively send their supports in so that there's less. So what you'll see with Dante is he will see more defensive bubbles and probably putting focus on Sombra, maybe Kiriko. But it's the same goal. Take angles, pre-poke this guy, force this guy out ASAP, punish these guys if they go in aggressively with the dive, and then you're doing that with this guy marking their tracer, this guy shooting their ball tracer, this guy bubbling off the dives and focusing Sombra, this guy hitting a sleep dart on a nade, this guy booping out one of their heroes. You know, obviously there's a million things that Funny Astro could be focusing on. And then for Atlanta, it's just going to be setting up their Sombra deep. 3, 2, 1, slam dive. Hitting one of these targets. Kiriko likely going to be looking for opportunities to actually TP in if she can TP to a position where she can wall climb out safely. Like, this is like a really, really good spot for them to dive because, and also here, and really here and here, because these are a lot of spots for Kiriko to TP in and also wall climb and not get punished. Why is it not riskier to TP dive with ball rather than having bubbles covered with Winston? Well, the difference is that it's not risky. There's nothing about a Winston or ball that changes the Kiriko. To me, it's more like the Kiriko is being played with the ball because the ball can oftentimes set up in a position like this easily. Kiriko can TP to him, and then ball can set up his dive afterwards. Like, ball is just like a lot more flexible with his positioning, right?
We were going to see the legendary wrecking ball play to count.
It might also be right. It might also be that something like sleep dart is more of a concern. I don't know.
Against Gladiators.
And there's no Sombra on the other side as well.
It also means as well that nano is kind of dookie. Like, you can nano your tracer, but nano ball is not good. It's too easy to shut down.
Well, so Doghead will have a lot of maneuverability in this.
Now, are we getting good pressure here? Because we need like Kai taking an angle like right here and trying to get early pressure on. And Kevster needs to be doing work here. We're getting a little pressure on Chio. I think they actually found Lip too. That's huge. I think they found Lip on coast. So Lip is on coast here, right here. Do you guys see? He gets spotted right there. You see that? I don't know who he gets spy checked by. It might be Kevster. Yeah, it's Kevster. So there's Kevster. So then Lip is actually out when ball is in. That's massive. So this dive should be peelable. There's a defensive nade. Brilliant. Now Gladiators need to punch up. Now, so you've seen the ball slam. You've seen the Sombra. You need to walk forward. Probably not on ball because he just has too much HP. You probably walk on some of these targets, right? Maybe Lip if you can see him too. And you have Funny Astro babysit the ball to make sure that he doesn't come in from behind. Maybe a little bit of Babel babysitting as well with Sleep Dart.
DPS to follow.
But you see that we're walking forward. We're taking space. We can even plant bubble like right about now and just play inside of our bubble. Oh. Yeah, that's on Funny Astro. That's on Funny Astro. This needs to be booped. This needs to be booped. So like they're calling push, but as long as they're in speed aura, it's actually not on Funny Astro to go forward and boop people in. They're Tracer Kiriko. It's more important that while we're actually moving, this guy doesn't get a trade on the back line, and this guy doesn't recloak and show up. This is Funny Astro's mistake. And I guess to an extent Babel as well, who could have slept out this, but honestly, like, that's a huge mistake from the back line of Gladiators. Didn't Babel miss sleep on the slam? He was half at that point. But I'm honestly not too sure if he missed it. Oh, I think you're talking about before that. I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Yeah, and the thing about the Winston that
I'm actually also not even sure that you want to sleep out the slam immediately anyway. I'm kind of torn because it's like he's gonna have adaptive shields and he's already slammed, so it's like, is it worth? Sometimes it's kind of like worth to like go try to punish Ball's second cycle when he doesn't have adaptive shields. But that's a good question. So that was poorly executed by Gladiators as a whole. Astro's gonna do Brig, which is basically just doing the exact same thing, but the difference between Brig and Lucio is this: if you're not rotating as much, like you're not doing like the juke dive thing with the speed boost that we saw earlier, Brig is going to be a little bit better at enabling Kai to take off angles with packs and to deny the same peel. So basically, if you're standing in one spot, in a lot of ways, Brig is actually better than Lucio for peeling. It depends on the comp as well. Like Lucio, like Brig struggles a lot more versus Winston because Bubbles offers a lot of counterplay. But versus Ball as well, it's a good pick. And on this map, there's not going to be as much rotating. Well, actually, I lie. You might want Lucio speed boost right here. This is a giant yellow turd. Okay, this is a horrible spot versus some comps. But I think Brig is okay.
Where the picks came through on the lane after Dongheng had his initial dive in, but
yeah, huge whip shot. Did you guys see that from Astro?
On the lane after Dongheng had his initial dive.
Wait. Was it Astro or Kevster spy checking? Yeah, I think it was spy checking from Kevster. You see that the minuscule amount of damage. I think Kevster spy checked, and then the whip shot from Astro. I thought it was Astro just like kind of big braining it. But no, it was a spy check. Really nicely nicely done. And that's going to allow them to rotate a little bit safer because they force Sombra out.
You're not expecting him Hammond to come back into that engage.
I actually like this from Dante as well because remember, there's no Ana nade to really worry about, and if he jumps Kiriko Lucio, then Kiriko Lucio are just going to TP to the dive and dodge the Winston entirely, and they want to and just kill his backline. So what Dante does is he actually jumps the Tracer. The Sombra's out, so if I can jump the Tracer, force some blinks, do a little bit of damage, that's going to help my team out. I think this is definitely the play. This was not the play versus the Ana Sombra earlier, but with the Kiriko Lucio, it's definitely the play. Okay.
And then he's right there.
Was that a whip shot on the slam?
You're not expecting him, Hammond to come back into that.
No, he just slams on the high ground. Kai. This is also pretty good from Kai too. Look at Kai's aggression, trying to walk forward, baiting the dive on himself, rolls out, gets pocket, and so now we have another window to walk forward. This is when we need to be hitting a sleep dart right there. That was a big window for sleep dart, and I don't see it. So that's something. It's obviously easier said than done, but like if you want to be, if we're talking about like elite tier Anas. Those sleep darts right there on that second little bit of rolling around is really important. Punish the ball. Dante's going in. This is a mistake. Oh, I'm not so sure about this. Wait, what is he punishing here? Maybe he sees something that I don't see. Maybe it's okay. Maybe he's like thinking because Sombra's out. He has to be really careful there though. GLADS are doing a good job walking forward after the ball engaged, but that's just a pulse, and that's pretty much it. It's not that deep. When you hit a pulse, you know, on the Ana, it's over.
And you can see how much they're trying, like the Gladiators, like
Lucio's was 1 before he jumped. Got it. Good catch. Yeah, I'm not gonna catch everything, chat. So if you guys see anything, just holler.
It feels like Gladiators are always behind the 8-ball a little bit in terms of when they want to make these engages.
Because that's definitely something that you can dive off of. This Lucio is 1 HP because then your Kiriko is not likely to juke your TP or your jump. Okay. EMP time. Very winnable. Astros doesn't have rally yet, so it's spooky. So now it's going to be very important that Gladiators do exactly what they need to do in the previous run, which is spy check heavily. Find the Sombra. Solo EMP.
Here's an EMP just for that. If that's not enough, you're getting hacked. You're getting
Nope. Nope. No, no, no. No, 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 no. It's a terrible EMP. Terrible EMP. And you know how I know it's a terrible EMP? Look at this. Look at them spawn. Look at ball. Look at tracer. You guys can see these little red smudges, right?
From the hem, and if that's not enough, you're getting hacked. You're getting run on.
No.
By stock.
Tracer isn't there. Ball Summer's not going to be able to handle it. I mean, ball can't even get to it. No. It's terrible EMP. Terrible, 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 terrible EMP. This isn't a solo EMP that secures a kill, because a solo EMP that kills the target is totally fine. But this is zero chance this works. Zero. No, 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 no. They didn't even need a counter nano, honestly. But now, GLADS walk forward. GLADS walk forward. I want to see a sleep dart on this ball. They don't need to. He's stuck. I'm surprised we even rally here. I mean, it's not bad. It's fine, you know. Secure the fight. But I do feel that rally is probably the most powerful ultimate that Gladiators have in this matchup.
I can figure out a way. They do get a lot from it. Like, they are able to find the primal rage from Dante.
And they primal too. Wait, why does Dante primal? Is Dante low? Yeah, he's kind of low. It's a big investment though. You got double supportal and primal. I mean, that's the, again, it's going to be on the back of Kevster really at this point. Can you hit a pulse? Can they mark well? Not just the old game, but the neutral game too. Notice how heavily they're spy checking. Heavily looking for ball, heavily looking for Sombra, heavily looking for Tracer. Heavily, heavily, heavily. There's the ball. Again, oh, what? Now, here's the interesting thing, guys. So, I'm not super pleased with the marking job here, but do you guys remember when we were talking about, like, Tracer takes an angle that she thinks Sombra Ball and Tracer would want to take, and then if nobody's there to mark, you then just use it to kill supports, even when they have a Kiriko Lucio backline. I had an entire VOD review on Route 66 that I put on my Spilo 2 channel talking about this at a Grandmaster level. And I think you guys are kind of seeing it here, where, you know, Kevster is kind of locked down this whole area of the map. And then what ends up happening is nobody from Atlanta takes that position. Like, look at Atlanta. Atlanta has to play their little weird angles from, come on. From here, right? So then that means Kevster just goes, okay, I'll kill your backline then. I mean, you can see it right here. Kevster just uses that angle to kill backline.
Oh my goodness, but Fielder just gonna get picked up very quickly as they look to contribute.
I mean, that's a phenomenal kill regardless, though.
Being topped up for Gladiators, being able to hold on.
And this is what we talked a little bit about with Kiriko ult there, because I guarantee you, if you look at this Kiriko ult, it wasn't a bad Kiriko ult. It's just not a very useful ultimate. Nobody on Atlanta outside of the backline had any chance to actually utilize that ultimate. It was fine to place there. There wasn't really any other crucial place to play it, but that's it. If backline can't use it, then nobody can use it. Fielder goes on it.
Who knew that engage was coming, and then as soon as Fielder opts in,
hard mark, unless nobody's there. But do you see how Stalker is trying to take this angle? Because going through this door is really, really awkward with the Brig constantly checking you, right? So Stalker wants to wrap around. Kevster says no. So either they have to fight it out over here with like Dawn Hack or whatever kind of helping out, or Fielder helping out over here, or they go back to here. This is what I was talking about, the lane theory, right? These guys group up and they all go to here, in which case Kevster does the exact same thing and tails them and kills the supports again. That's the exact same thing. Don't chase. There's the mark. There's the mark. Stalker's back in his backline. Brilliant. We love to see it. We love to see it. Love to see it. Look at how creative these angles have to be. Like, it's not bad from Stalker, but they're getting bullied out here. They're getting bullied out here. This is good. Now they can actually disengage this. Oh, huge. And there it is. I mean, literally, guys, it's exactly what we said. Dante is focusing Tracer, which is good, right? Focusing Tracer. Now, obviously, Dante could also be going for backline here because of the Ana swap, but this bubble really accomplishes the same thing. He gets pressure on Tracer, and he also bubbles off the backline now, right? Because they're on Ana. Kevster then just tails, right? Like, basically what's happening is Atlanta is getting an off angle, but it's only one off angle. You see that, right? So then what Kevster and Dante are doing is they are smashing it from the outside. Hey, Ray.
really helping them out. As here comes the minefield.
Well, really good.
That was a great coordination across the bridge. An opportunity.
And now Dante just needs to disengage, and we're good to go.
Out of the pile drive range. With
They're the only angle that Atlanta has in this dive is the ball in the back line. Ah, God, wow.
11 HP gets assistance from
Okay, so just evolved fight. They're able to hold on versus the anti-nade, and that's huge.
time and time again to reset for Kai to take the picks.
This is actually pretty important fight here. I mean, obviously pretty important fight. This is stating the obvious. But GLADS have managed to peel off 2 neutral dives without even using a support ult. Because they didn't have the ults, obviously, but this is actually huge. GLADS have the advantage here. Lip needs to build this EMP. I still think the GLADS have the advantage. So here's the big thing. This is the keys to GLAD's success, and then we'll talk about keys to Atlanta's success. So keys to GLAD's success. Number 1, rally needs to get value. You need to be able to rally to prevent the dive from happening, okay? It needs to be right before EMP, preferably. Okay? Keys to success number 2. Actually, Dante has a very important job. Because the only way that this EMP gets value is if it's paired with beat engage or nade. Dante must control the enemy backline and prevent nade from coming in and or from the beat HP from reaching these guys. He has to be able to zone backline, and I think Kevster has responsibility on that as well, but I still think Kevster it is more important for Kevster to take an angle and try and prevent the dive in the first place. But yeah, if we end up tailing again, Dante has to prevent the backline follow-up from happening here. So we want to see a really big rally from Funny Astro to prevent the EMP from getting value. Probably anti-nade sleep and so on to peel it off, but Dante must control the backline. The backline is so dangerous here. Atlanta Rain. Really, there's going to be a lot of pressure on Fielder and Chio to deny Dante from being able to trade them and just keep them tied up, whether that's Boop, Sleep Dart, whatever, Amp Speed. And they need to get in there. If they get in there with anti-nade and beat, they should beat GLADS. So there's a lot of pressure on the back line and a lot of pressure on the front line of GLADS and Atlanta Rain to be able to pull this one off. You could also make a good argument here that Atlanta Rain could be looking for like a hack on Kevster to force him back so that there's an easier dive setup from Dawn Hack.
The adaptability from Gladiators in the way that they're
Astro gets the rally. Brilliant. Now we'll be able to keep Kai up. Because if this landing damage happens, Kai might actually get burst.
playing to counteract.
Oh, unlucky. Unlucky.
Is huge to get
It's still winnable though. Dante peels back. That is not a decision I agree with.
to give the extra protection necessary.
And that's why. Because the beat goes in for free. And Chio and Fielder should have had their cooldowns forced earlier. Like, if nothing else, you force nade, sleep, and amp earlier. I do not agree with Dante trading backline or going to his own backline here. Could Astro have booped Dawn Hack?
Ability from Gladiators in the way that they're playing to counter.
Yes, he could have.
Counteract Lip is huge.
Good catch.
Kai
And they also don't get Lip out either.
was there.
How does Lip get healed?
Kai sent back.
Oh, by Ana. It looks like in spawn. I'm not sure, but either way, I really don't like Dante's play here.
The rally was there, but only seconds late to give the extra protection.
Yeah, they just didn't. Kevster's basically trying to solo zone backline, but it's not good.
The moment as their health values finally reach 0. Rain swaps it back.
And then this is a big problem here. They need. Oh, they don't even get the nano off.
Can have another attempt.
Oh, they need to retreat. Actually, if that pulse bomb would have hit Funny
no.
Astro, that would have been over. But with Funny Astro dying, that's still really
Okay.
for the Gladiators.
So GLADS are in a really tough spot now. Touch is going to be very difficult. This is huge.
Oh, no. He's not going to be able to touch.
That's a force to recall. That's a big deal. Atlanta probably just nanos. Honestly, Sombra even here or Winston. There's a nano in the Winston. They get the hack on Dante. That's big. Now it's just target focus. They're able to focus down Astro, who's got the touch, and that's it. Oh, Kevster. Kevster's trying. And that's it. Okay, pretty well played by Atlanta. in terms of like their backline really stepping up there. Kevster obviously played really well. Not super pleased with Dante, like where I feel like Dante's priorities here is just like jumping his own backline when I don't think that was necessarily the play. Definitely some micro plays that could have been done better from GLADS. I do feel that GLADS in general struggled with marking at points, especially in the first round. But all that being said, I don't think they played this one particularly bad. It just could have been badly. It could have just been played a little bit better.
Those moments, like we mentioned,
GLADS may have the worst incline league. I mean, that's a little bit of a take. I don't know about that. I mean, I think if you look at it on paper, sure. But in execution, I'm not so sure. Like, we don't know how good of a communicator Dante is, how quickly he's going to pick up other heroes. I'm hearing that obviously his Doomfist is one of the best in the world. His Ramatra, I heard, was playing really well. He also seems like the type of person or the player that was really a quick learner. So over the course of the season, I think he has got a really high potential for doing better. Yeah, I mean, I'm all for the Dante is not a good mechanical Winston. Dante is not a very good decision-making Winston. But I also think Dante has improved at that fact. Jajobs, thanks for the sub. And I also think that it's naive to expect Dante to not improve over the course of the season, right? Depending on the type of person or type of player that he is. Okay, so this is super interesting on a Brig defense. I mean, it's really not super complicated. This is more of a static game mode compared to some of the rotations on Koth. So having supports that are going to enable static positions. We talked about that with Brig versus Lucio. Fewer rotations, armor packs from range, whip shots to deny specific areas that your Ana wants to hold. Makes sense, right? Rain looks at that and says, well, we're going to counter you on rollout. Talk about controlling angles. Hey, our Discord's going to do better than your armor packs. We know that your dive teeth is going to be weaker because you're on Cassidy. You don't have the option to go like Sombra and Punisher on his end backline, if that was even possible. Dante's not going to be playing Ball. I mean, Ball actually wouldn't even be that good versus Atlanta Crimes comp. Never mind. And then Hawk says, "Oh, you're on Winston. Okay, that's cute. I'm going to go Diva." I mean, Atlanta Rain is running as close to a counter comp as you possibly can, where basically they're going to control off angles better. Gladiators don't have any teeth on the dive. This is going to be tough. So the way Atlanta wins is essentially by getting angles on Dante and spamming him out early and often. It's actually really the roles have reversed here, where these guys wanted to get close and these guys wanted to poke them out early. Now it's the opposite. These guys need to get close to these guys and these guys want to poke them out early, right? And the way that you do that is you poke them out early by getting a Harmony orb on Stalker and a Discord orb on Kevster and controlling that off angle, and then doing the same thing on Dante on Winston with your Diva, right? This should be. I don't know how the Ana Zen's going to work with the high ground on second point, because it is very difficult to have a very fragile backline attacking second point. There is so much open space. Well, open space is good, but the high grounds, right? It's easy to LOS. But yeah, okay. Are we going to see some brawling when playing dive? I don't know. Like I said, I did not watch this match. I don't know what comps were played. Maybe somebody in chat can fill you in. So really the way that Atlanta Rain do this is just to hunt Dante, Kevster. Maybe we'll look for a dive eventually, but there's really no reason to go for a backline to close the distance. Just poke these guys out. Take as many aggressive angles as you can with your backline and just ego these guys.
Vigilante is going to be on that Zenyatta, and Discord makes Tracer v Tracers so hard to pivot.
Yeah, the TVT is extremely important between these two because of those subtle offsets.
So Dante has already gotten poked out. I don't know how or why. I think it's true. Yeah. So this. Do you see this, guys? So this is very subtle but very important. So Dante is doing the right thing. He's trying to stage in a corner where he can't get poked out so that he can control backline. Right? They're not playing the newest patch. No. I'm doing great. Hey, Racer. But do you guys see this? Harmony Orb on Tracer. Stalker is playing outside of the LOS of backline, which means that Stalker can shoot Dante. Okay, I don't know if you guys can even see that. On the other side of the screen for free. And so now Dante is getting chunked, and there's nothing his backline can do about it. So what I would like from GLADS here is GLADS need to not be here. This is bad. Bad GLADS. Now, I'm the first point Hollywood is notoriously difficult, and also you're playing versus, I guarantee that this is not a comp that they played versus very often. But on hindsight analysis, the best way for GLADS, well, you guys tell me, where should GLADS backline rotate to? Remember, it's about range, distance. This comp, better close. This comp, better distance. You need to choke them out while avoiding taking damage. So where should backline be right here? To support Dante and or threaten on the backline. Yes. Normally you see backline playing here, right? They should not be here anymore. They should go up the stairs onto high ground, threaten, pressure, and dives on Lip, who should not be allowed to poke, because Lip is also poking out Dante. You guys see that? And shoot Stalker and heal Dante. And if you sit on this high ground here, Ana Zen are terrified. They cannot walk through the choke without being at risk of getting dove. And you're able to prevent people from taking angles ahead of time to poke out Dante. Right here, guys. Right here is where Gladiators need to be. Otherwise, you're going to lose space quick. Because they're too far away. Dante's going to have to jump out. Yep, there he is. He's out. He's out, and he's used bubble. And major trouble. Major trouble. Look at that. Just spam, 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 spam. There it is, right? But the problem is now you've already used bubble. You've already allowed the Ana Zen to rotate. Oh, Fielder gets isolated. Kevster is so good, man. I mean, this is so smart from Kevster, right? Kevster knows that there's lagging, this rotation, they're lagging behind. He sees the Ana isolated. Fielder and Vigilante have their LOS split. He isolates Fielder and kills Fielder. Bam. That's really good. That's exactly, like you just turn the tables, right? They just rotated, right? But then the Ana gets caught lagging behind. Ana dies. What would have been better is Ana and Vigilante to rotate together, and maybe Ana can sprint for the cafe or something like that. Still very winnable for Atlanta though, because they were able to get the rotation. But obviously losing Ana on that rotation is massive. Oh, I mean, again, distance, guys, distance. I mean, it looks like they're trolling, but they're creating off angles. They're creating distance. This is what this comp wants to do. It would take an eternity for them to catch that Zenyatta, and they're going to get a tick out of it. So now they just disengage. Oh, Lastro feeds. Lastro. Oh, he almost dies for that. Lastro goes a little too aggressively here. This is just chaos now. Everybody's staying on the same page. Can they keep? Which team is going to keep their composure? They nano. First ultimate is nano. Nice tracking from Lastro. There's the counter nano. They demech the Diva. They're not able to get a kill out of the nano though. Big stuff. Hawk is still without mech though, which is massive. Hey, Brett.
Nano was used onto Babel though, from Babel onto Dante, and Dante wasn't able to get the Primal Rage in time.
There's the mech.
It is going to be scary for him to take.
They're going to try and get rid of Kevster. Kevster's out. Do you notice, by the way, Kevster is playing in this position? What's the advantage of this position for Kevster? Can you guys tell me? What's the advantage? Why is this position so important for not just Kevster, but also GLADS as a whole? How do Atlanta Reign win? You can see and hide, right? Engaging for free with drop, right? There's no way that Vigilante can Harmony or Discord him, or Harmony his Tracer and force the duel, or Discord Kevster. So they literally cannot get rid of Kevster. He's literally, you cannot get rid of Kevster from this high ground because Zenyatta can't see you. If Zen can see you, he can get rid of you either through Harmony, Discord indirectly, or by shooting you in the face. So only Diva can dive him, right? And then the Diva versus Tracer duel, not so good when there's a Brig right behind you with packs. So Diva's not, that's not going to work. It's really good. That's really good. There isn't a better position that Kevster could play. And not only that, so he can avoid the Tracer duel entirely and still threaten backline. On a Brig or holding here, which is really strange, to be honest with you guys, but it's actually not that bad. I actually do like it, as long as Kai doesn't get isolated too much, because, again, it's about avoiding the Ana Zen sightlines and making them walk forward where we can actually punish them. Do you guys see this? Look at the off angles that GLADS are holding here. This is really, really good stuff from GLADS, honestly. Like, especially on the fly adjustments like this, way, 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 way harder than it looks, right? So what if they send up their Ana Zen with cast to dispose of Kevster? They could, but what's the problem with sending your Ana Zen up top to get rid of Kevster? It wouldn't be necessarily a bad idea, but what are the potential problems? You lose angles, right? What would Gladiators do? I mean, Gladiators now would have a chance to just push you up top. Winston bubble jump. They get on top of you. It would be really scary. It'd be really scary. Now, a possible solution here. I love this stuff, guys. Now, I know I'm going a little bit in depth, and some of you guys are like, guys, get along with it. But I love this stuff. A possible solution from Atlanta would be Fielder stays here. Zen, Tracer, Diva rotate top, or Zen, Tracer rotate top together within Ana. Excuse me, Zen stays here. I'm sorry. Ana, Tracer rotate top with Diva. And then if they dive, you have your Zen cross-firing from here. You could even have Lip staying on main as well, or like peeking from here. So if you dive, okay, Ana has to drop, yes, but Harmony Orb still works. The Diva still works, and you have your Ana, or your Zen Cassidy crossfiring on top. But it's only the Ana going with the Tracer. Because Ana Tracer will be able to force Kevster off, plus Diva. And then they're not all getting dove. You guys kind of see what I'm saying? You set up your Zenyatta and Cassidy on an off angle. This is some pretty high level stuff, though. Yeah. But Pulse, though, I mean, yeah, definitely. That's why you need your Diva there.
They can look for re-entry on this. There comes the jump.
Oh my gosh. I mean, this is the problem, right, guys? Like, there's just they can't clear Kevster from this off angle. And Rally is just too OP. Like, they can it looks like they nano Cassidy. I don't see who they nano, actually. Because usually it gives you the arrows, right? Oh, yeah, it's Cassidy. They nano Cassidy, but, I mean, it's just... Yeah, it's too far. They kind of force it, and then Rally is just really, really strong. Why was Vigilante going back to the Mega? I don't know, honestly. I don't think Vigilante was going back to the Mega necessarily, so much as he was... I think he's trying to take an angle... Was he about the Mega, y'all? Yeah, he was. He might have been looking for an angle on Kai on high ground and trying to work with their Tracer. It's oddly timed for sure. It's an odd timed play. Yeah, I don't. It had to be a high risk. He was going for probably an off angle off of the dive here, but it was pretty deep.
Interesting to me that we're not
he was cooking a little bit.
Seeing Atlanta kind of move away from like a TVT scenario because Kevster has been basically free farming that backline a lot.
They've not been able to clear Kevster. They haven't solved how to get Kevster off of high ground. That's the in a nutshell. Gladiators have been able to avoid taking spam, playing cover, and there's the high ground rotation that we were looking for. The problem with this, guys, the problem here, what's the problem with this? You guys see the rotation that they're doing. It's the exact same rotation that we talked about, right? Kevster is going to be rotating from right, backline from top, Dante pincers from here. What's the problem? How is Kevster so good? Illegal drugs. Dante's job here is to get on the back of the enemy backline here. The problem here is this is horrific team play from Gladiators. Horrific team play from Gladiators. Dante and Kevster are in. Kevster's a little late, which is whatever. But the backline literally doesn't even peak until now. Now. And Dante has not only used Bubble, but he's also had to use Primal. Horrific timing from Gladiators. There's no follow-up here. There's nothing here. There's no backline follow-up here. I mean, whether this play makes sense or not is, questionable as it is, but really not well done. But I really honestly don't know. Yeah, see, this is just a mistake from Atlanta, right? Like Hawk should never get his how does Hawk take so much damage? So Hawk messes up. He goes to peel off Winston. This is a mistake from Hawk. Hawk should have sat here, flashed Matrix, kept these guys tied up, and then disengaged later. So Hawk messes up. Hawk also messes up and gets primaled in. And then Vigilante messes up by trying to trance when Hawk had bomb, and so we end up using 2 ults for 1. Bad team play from Gladiators, bad team play from Atlanta Reign. Bad play, honestly, from Hawk and Vigilante. Like, this obviously is a disaster. Skitza, it's the big picture stuff is usable in ranked games. Yes. So yeah, Atlanta just kind of catches the dive and they punish. The GLADS needed to get the kill there, besides just forcing ultimates. They needed to kill.
Guaranteeing the second ticket at this point, they're clear to get the third since no one from GLADS can get back in time.
Yeah, a little bit of a wallet diff there from the Atlanta Reign. They had all their ultimates. They kind of just threw them in, knowing that Gladiators
positioning, yep.
Ultimates in their own. There wasn't going to be enough to sustain them through the transcendence healing that Vigilante.
All right, this is where the going gets tough, because your Ana's in are going to be exposed. Now the good news is that they got early high ground control, but I don't think they're going to be able to keep it. The problem here is that your Ana's in are going to be kind of stuck on cart in this general vicinity over here without ever actually clearing high ground, because going to high ground is too risky. If you can get your Ana's in on high ground at some point in this fight, it's going to be really, really good for the sightlines and safety. Well, I don't think they're going to be able to. Ooh, Dante, careful. The nice thing about the Ana's in, though, is that Harmony and Discord is really good at pushing cart. Because you can Harmony and Discord anybody that tries to contest cart, while Stalker, and the other nice thing, by the way, Diva, also really good at pushing cart, right? Doesn't take a lot of damage, hard to kill, hard to remove. Nobody on the GLADS besides Kevster, who will get instantly discorded, can contest her. So the win condition for Atlanta Reign is to keep the backline in safe positions, try to take soft angles, and just push cart. Just push cart. Hard mark and push cart. Hard mark and push cart. The win condition for Gladiators is to try and aggressively rotate your backline so that you can actually try to punish backline and stuff them so far back that they can't even pocket cart.
From the backline, Pavel pumping healing into them to sustain through this as they continue to maintain this high ground. Atlanta Reign being very cautious and cognizant of how they push into this to see what they can do. Dante actually just getting shredded consistently from that down below.
Dante is taking too much damage.
Pressure from
I'm not. They really should not be contesting card here either. I'm not sure what's going on. I don't think. Oh my gosh!
Thanks for the tips on Life Weaver. Although he's a little bit weak on the healing side, I coach a T3 team and we've landed
Sick,
on a
dude.
Sigma
I'm glad to
Soldier
hear that.
Tracer
Thank you for the 2,000 bits, mate.
In scrims. Cheers.
I'd be curious to see what you've been doing with it. I assume it's probably has something to do with like using the life grip with Sigma, range support, and Soldier Tracer. The range shield feels really pretty good. That's one of his strengths. Thank you so much for the donation, mate. I appreciate that. I really appreciate the generosity, mate. So yeah, I think like GLAD's backline is a little too passive here for this to be effective. I think Dante just dies. Yeah, I mean, just that's the problem. Is like this is exactly what we said was going to happen. They're just going to keep the backline in Narnia. They're going to aggressively push cart with Diva and Tracer, and then they're just going to mark whoever tries to touch cart. And that's exactly what happens. My problem here is that I feel like there's no real reason for GLAD's backline to be this scared of just Stalker. Like, I do think GLAD should be aggressively peeking this here, or maybe even trying to rotate to this position here where they can better help Dante. I mean, yeah, there's the Discord on Dante. He's good. Yeah, I mean, GLAD's just don't know what they're doing. They look kind of lost here.
From Atlanta Reign, which is so precise.
I mean, I'm going to blame Dante to an extent because really Dante should not be the one stopping cart. That's just absurd to me. But also, I don't feel like GLAD's backline was doing him as any favors. They're still pushing cart. You guys notice that? They should still be pushing cart. I'm not sure why they're contesting high ground. Even though they're down the monkey, you can't contest high ground. You can't get 4 people up there. So no, I wouldn't even bother. Control Kevster. Control Kevster. That's a big recall. Is he going to get a pulse? Control Kevster. Control Kevster. Oh, guys. Oh, this is just silly from Atlanta. Like, really, Atlanta needs to be hunting this Tracer down. Like, put your Diva on cart, put Hawk on cart as best as you can, and hunt this guy down. He's in your backline. Like, you cannot let Kevster with a pulse bomb be hovering around your backline this long. It just doesn't work. Like, I don't know who is it. Like, where even is Stalker? I know Stalker probably has pulse, so maybe he's looking to set up his own pulse. But you can't do this. You need to be marking your Tracer. Where is Stalker? I think Stalker's on cart and Diva's on high. Somebody needs to be marking Kevster, y'all. Like, this is silly. I mean, even the fact that Atlanta tried to contest high ground with Dante dead is absurd. You've got 4 people on the high ground if you're Gladiators. You're not contesting that with your Ana's on the floor. What strengths does Diva provide as an Ana that Winston can't, requiring the brig? Well, theoretically, Diva should be hard marking the enemy trace and the enemy Winston and or pressuring point without taking damage. Like, Diva is able to stand in open space without taking damage and mark off angles better than Winston. She can't go as hard for backline and get kills in backline, but she can control and mark space. But right now, we're not really playing to that strength right now. At least we aren't right now. I don't know where Stalker or Hawk are. They're one of them's on cart, one of them's just kind of standing around and we're trying to pressure high ground. When all we need to do now is just continue to push cart, continue to push cart, continue to push cart, control Kevster, control Kai, or Dante, push cart, push cart, push cart, push cart. This is silly. This is really silly. And the other thing too is that it looks like Atlanta's trying to rotate to high ground so that they can actually contest the high ground. But to rotate to high ground, you have to clear out the off angle first so that you can actually take the elevator. This is going to be a disaster. This is silly. This is really not good from Atlanta. And GLADS actually push with it too. Like, that's actually really tight from GLADS there. Really good team play. They get traded a little bit, but I respect it.
They managed to get some decent value in recovery here with 2 minutes to go. Now the D-Mac's going to make it a little more challenging.
I wonder if there was a nano.
Oh, huge kill.
Vigilante, just because they thought that maybe they were stuck instead. It actually.
But essentially, you've reset, you've used a nano, and you've made no progress. You push cart, but you should have done that a lot better.
Atlanta Rain do come back into this. A minute and 30 seconds, not a lot of time. And Gladiators actually, in terms of.
Do they get their on the high ground though? That's the question. Because if they can't, they might actually be able to win the high ground war. No. Oh, now you just push cart, push cart, push cart, push cart, push cart. You will not be able to take high ground at Atlanta. You won't happen. Dax, thanks for the sub, mate. What's the fundamental keys to being a great tracer? Mechanics and game sense. Do you suggest Cassidy being replaced by a more sustainable hit scan like Soldier Ash? No. I think the Cassidy is good. The Cassidy, especially in his current state, at least his previous state, had a lot more survivability, and Sticky was really good. Also, the fall off thing was massive. So, yeah. You're not gonna be able to take high ground. It's not happening. Stop trying. Push cart. Push cart. Push cart. Lip goes, wait, Lip was Cassie. What am I smoking? Stop. Push cart. Push cart. Where's Vigilante? Does anyone know where Vigilante is? Where's Vigilante, guys? Was he underneath? Was Vigilante flanking? Yeah, so Vigilante's being cheeky. Vigilante has trance and he's literally underneath us. Now, I'm wondering if they're doing that to push cart. It might be, yeah. It might, here, okay. Oh my gosh, Skyface, thank you so much for the subs, mate. Oh my gosh, that is 20 gifted subs. He was on cart? Congratulations, I'm irrelevant. Tornado, Pouncing, Hug Your Dogs, Clashcrafter, Ray, Cosme, Zevanar, Love Connection, Jack Jack Rabbit, Tic Tac G, Kinji, Benan, Tajaliatel, oh my gosh, sorry. Baller Steven, Grant, Mackie, Boyoyo, Sandwich Man, XYZZ. Thank you so much for the gifted subs, mate. So, what I'm thinking here is Vigilante is going here to assist Stalker pushing cart. Anna Cassidy back here. Dante or Hawk controlling high ground. And then if they punish Vigilante for being split, he gets on a pocket / trances. Thank you so much for the gifted subs. That's ridiculously generous of you. So, you know, I was griping about it because I thought Atlanta was trying to push high ground with Zen, but actually there's a rotate their Zen underneath and try to push cart. I think it's a pretty reasonable plan. I just don't know why Vigilante didn't trance. That's all. I don't know if my man got clipped or what. Because you could see they're pushing cart. And this is where, theoretically, this matchup is going to go for Stalker. Apologize for the hollering, yeah. It's going to continue for a little bit. So they force recall and Kevster, too. Keep pushing cart, keep contesting cart. Yeah, I'm not sure, guys. This is just why I would love to have replay viewer. I just wish I knew what happened. And they get the DMAC. Ouch. Yeah, I mean, this is the weakness of the on is in, right? Like, you can push cart, which is great, but like once the cart gets to where it was, which is here, you can't really pocket cart from a safe position. You actually have to take an aggressive angle, which is like here or here. But the problem is you can be dove in both of those positions. So I actually kind of like what Vigilante was doing, because this feels safer with trance, but I just wish we had replay viewer. Wish we had replay viewer. Frustrating. Very, very, very frustrating. This is just zoning backline. Yeah, mechanics, ladies and gentlemen. That's a really great sleep from Fielder, though. But he's trying to zone backline so they can kill Baby Diva. He just goes a little bit outside of his bubble, like his head sticks out of the bottom of the bubble, and he dies. So, bang, bang, tragic. Should still be okay, though. Tank for tank, your backline still. Oh, wow. Kevster gets rolled. Okay, that's massive. Now we can actually rotate our backline. Now we can actually rotate our backline. Backline high, backline high, backline high, backline high. Stalker creating chaos. Stalker don't die. Stalker don't die. Nice, guys! We got our honest in the backline. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Create him, cause chaos. Somebody messes up, punish their mistake, take high ground. Now, Atlanta Reign has a massive advantage. Massive advantage. Nice. I mean, to be fair, guys, this is like Numbani first attack. It's like Hollywood Second's like Numbani first attack, where it's like it's really on the defenders to make a mistake, really regardless of the composition that you're making. So yeah, huge. Now, do you guess what the fight plan is, guys, for Atlanta Reign? Take one guess.
Dude, they got it for absolutely nothing. Just some overextensions from the GLADS. So now Atlanta Reign have an ultimate economy to work against what GLADS are going to be having as their last defense.
Yeah. No, not even. Not even. Push the cart. Yeah, I mean, basically just stay on high ground, press Q, push cart. Yeah, just push cart. That's it. Now, I'm curious to where on earth are Fielder and Vigilante?
So now Atlanta Reign have an ultimate economy to work against their last defense.
Looks like back left. Vigilante's on the move, ladies and gentlemen. Vigilante's loving these flanks. Uh-oh, they lost high ground. I don't know what's gonna matter though, because I don't think they're gonna have time. Nope. Oh my gosh. So they find the window to push. I think the backline from Onisen was back here. GLADS tried to go for an aggressive dive. They're not able to get the finish off. Vigilante's just on a mission baiting attention. And then basically they just peel it off. Like once the Winston bubble's down, it's over. Cheers, Schizo. Alrighty, GG's. Next fight.
It was so good. They had really good positioning, but just a few couple of oversteps.
I love the Zenyatta just on the move. You know, especially with the Transcendence, using it to bait attention, distract, split, support, all that kind of stuff, then punish enemy mistakes because he's got the mechanics for it.
They also have a nano relatively soon, but they need to be able to string 2 fight wins together.
Will GLADS be able to go? Oh, Stalker! Stalker on the flank.
They need to be able to string 2 fight wins together.
Stalker just gets rolled. Kai peeks it down this lane right here. You guys know what I'm talking about. And just taps Stalker.
Oh, that's a nice way to start, though. Stalker eliminated. Though they do have still a pretty decent close spawn to get back into this as they have a few more seconds of time, but Vigilante, a pretty decent close spawn to get back into this.
It's me on Zen. There's the distance, right? There's the range. Now what we're going to do now is we're going to pocket Hawk, try to get a Discord into some of these targets, and try to basically take an HP trade. You'd prefer Dante here, so you might see either Vigilante or Fielder walk forward and taking space on one of the angles while the other one kind of lags behind. You'd see the same from Lip, but Lip is alive. So actually we might see Lip walking forward with Hawk first. Dante's probably going to jump out. Oh, that is not going to work. Oh, it does work? Whoa. Oh, Kevster's there. Yeah, I mean, it works, I guess. It felt a little bit deep. They don't get the nade there in time. That's big. And they also get the sleep on Hawk. Why did they get the sleep on Hawk? Hawk.
Again, we're gonna just see them get these great volleys.
That's not good. Hawk needs to stop shooting at Dante when Dante's like already passed, right? Like when Dante's already this. You know what's actually funny, guys? Were you here? For any of you guys that were here for the Plat Tracer VOD review that we literally just did before this? Talk about marking, right? D.Va's really good at marking Winston, right? But once the Winston dives in with Nano, let him go. Let him go. Control this guy. Control sleep dart value. Control nade. Control healing. Control these guys, right? Don't chase Dante. You're doing look at Dante's HP bar. It doesn't even move, right? Now and then it opens him up to being slapped and completely taken out of the fight. You do not chase as D.Va. You mark, and then once the person leaves your vicinity, you then control the people that are available from that vicinity. This is a big mistake. Big mistake, especially with the nano boost. Without nano boost, maybe, but no. And he also boosters after Dante's already got nanoed. I really hate this play. I don't think it would have changed the result that much because the nade from Fielder is late. But really, Hawk should not be asleep here. That's a massive mistake. Also, Babel gets another. Salker just comes right back out and dies again. Kevster gets rolled because Vigilante is the GOAT of all time.
I mean, Vigilante was able to kill Kevster, so now this is a moment where Atlanta Reign can move forward a little bit and not have to worry about the Tracer.
That's the second time at least that we've seen that from Hawk.
Right now, but there is a pulse bomb for both of these teams in this next fight. It is going to be something that can break.
Again, can we pocket?
One of those backline members because there are no support ultimates to deal with it. Kevster looking hidden.
Oh my gosh. And that's the problem, guys, is you can't mark Kevster from high ground. Kevster's constantly finding these angles where he can avoid Vigilante's LOS entirely. And by the way, did you guys notice that he didn't recall? Why recall? Uptime. Lots of distractions on the backline. I mean, it might just be that simple, guys. I don't know if there's a lot. Like, I think being aware of Tracer positioning there would have really helped. Maybe that adjusts how you position your backline, but the guy dropped, made a great play, hit a pulse bomb. That's it. This should be it. Should be it, surely. Hawk survives, he gets a remech. Huge play from Hawk. So I guess it's still winnable. Maybe. There's the rally, defensive rally. That should demech Hawk. It does. Dante dies. Dante. Oh, he gets discorded. He overextends. The Tracer kept... No way, guys. What is going on? No way. What? So I'm going to try and see if there's anything really big here that I can see. Dante goes in hard on Zen. Doesn't quite play his life. I will say this. Do you guys see this? So this is a mistake from Dante. Mistake from Dante. Check it. Zen's here. Dante is right here on this pink X. Zen kites out the Winston bubble. He's not anywhere close to being low. Okay? Dante walks outside of his bubble to try and pressure Zenyatta. Watch his HP. You see it? Loses all of his armor. So then on his disengage, he also gets discorded because he's walked out of bubble. And that kills him. No, Dante's dive was probably fine because they were up one and D.Va just used boosters. But he's zoning backline here, allowing everybody else to demech Hawk because they have to touch, right, guys? Was good enough. This is his fault. He should not have died here. So that kills Dante. Hawk dies because he can only stall so long. Babel just gets straight up sniped. Vigilante takes a flank here and just rolls people. Dry Ice, thanks so much for the sub, mate. Kai tries to make a play, does make a play. Vigilante just rolls. Yeah, so was it a C9? Maybe, maybe not. But I think the big mistake there was from Dante. Oh, there's another angle.
Because I know our obs are going to do it. Here we go. So here we go. Kenobi ready? No.
Okay, yeah, it's a C9.
Maybe C9. Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably. I think it was reasonable they could have had a recontest there, but yeah. Yeah, Vigilante is killing on the Zenyatta right now. Mechanically, he's looked phenomenal. Really phenomenal. And I love the aggression from him as well. I think it's how you need to play the hero. I think it's how you need to play the hero. So part of this is because of the support lineup that Gladiators have, but I do kind of like the Kiriko Ana into the Ana Zenyatta, because it does allow you to kind of play like more aggressively, right? The close the distance on the Ana, but doesn't have like the clunkiness and slow. Like the Brig is more for denying enemy dives, right? But there is not going to be a lot of dives from Atlanta, right? They're playing Diva, Cassidy, Ana Zen, right? The only thing it does is maybe help your Ana out and Hanzo out versus the Tracer a little bit, but Kiriko can do that too, and also Kiriko can kind of play more aggressively with your Tracer and more aggressively with your Winston to compensate for the lack of Discord, right? So you can have your Kiriko Tracer combo versus the Zenyatta Tracer combo, and it's more of a skill matchup than it is just a counter comp. So I honestly like GLADS comp. I think the Hanzo's a bit odd, but it probably is a point specific thing, because you know you can kind of park Kai on here and you have got a really nice sightline, right? Given the range that you have, and also having a little bit of verticality on this here is probably pretty cute as well. I'm okay with it. Yeah. It's harder to for Atlanta Reign again to get the same thing, right? You want to keep them at arm's distance, hard mark, but it's going to be harder to mark when there's a Kiriko playing with the Tracer and playing with the Monkey. That's kind of like what we're looking at here. Yeah, you have a very, very aggressive support. Like I think Kiri on him isn't an Ana Zen counter, but it's about as darn close to it on a map with open space. I think Lucio Ana or Kiriko Lucio is an Ana Zen counter on maps where you can close the distance, and when you can't close the distance, I think Ana Kiriko is better if you can't mirror. I don't think the Brig does enough. Because the Brig is, there's nothing that's going to really be diving outside of Tracer, and you don't need that much all in the peel category. You see it right here? You guys see the Kiriko Tracer combo? I told you. It's exactly what we're trying to do here. Because you can actually threaten a dive here on the Zenyatta from this, you know? Dante can kind of come in with Ana pocket from here, and Stalker's going to try and mark, but then Ana's going to pocket Dante, and they're going to dive 1, 2, you know what I'm saying? And we might even have like a Cassidy off angle flank through here. Could be a really well set up dive from Gladiators. Was Brig kind of bad into Diva? Yeah, I mean, it's just not necessary. That's the thing. It's like, why did GLADS never switch on defense? Because the Brig is pretty good in helping you control high grounds, and it might have been just an ult cycle thing where they just kept having ultimates and, oh, we should swap. Well, I'm 60% on ultimate, and it happens, right? It's not that Brig's bad in Diva. It's just that like there's just not enough aggressive, there's not enough threats on your Ana to justify, or on your, I guess it was Babylon Ana, to justify the Brig pick when they're on this hero, this hero, this hero, and this hero.
We don't see it too much on the offensive end. It is, you know, good on this map in particular.
See, they're tricking the 2v2. They're trying to win the 2v2 at the same time. Dante goes in.
Defensive end, it's even more
Do you see the Kiriko though? The Kiriko is like a really big nuisance. Like, she's obnoxious. Like, it's an actual 2v2 we got going here, right? Instead of the Brig just sitting there and packing and looking stupid. Right? Like, this is real. I mean, this is good, guys. This is really, I am glad we're watching this map. I have been disappointed at times, but for this early in the season, this is pretty, overall, the level of play here is pretty decent. This is pretty good. Now, obviously, the problem is first point defense is always awkward for defenders, you know? First point defense is always awkward, okay? Whereas usually defense gives you a big advantage, but like this is really well executed by GLADS so far. I'm sure they thought Lip was going to be on Sombra. Yeah, that could be capitalism. Yep, absolutely. You definitely want the Brig into the more divey. And Hawk can play Winston too. Now look at what Atlanta Reign do. They don't sit there and cry. This is what I think a lot of the lower tier teams need to kind of learn from. So they lose the space, and they're all stuck in cafe. Remember we talked about the death trap? Was it London, I think? We were reviewing BAP Zen, the death trap, right? You don't sit in here. You go, crap, we're getting choked out by them taking space and angles. So they actually are trying to rotate around and set up a play, right? It's really good. You can't, you see your Zen can't even peek, your Cast can't even peek. Guys, let's set up something. Let's take a flank here. Come on, let's go. Let's go, bud. Oh, he's gonna go by himself. Now he has to be very careful about when he peeks, but right now is a perfect time. Look, he jukes the dive. Now Zen can peek. Oh, I'm telling you guys, this is so far, I think this is pretty high level Overwatch. It's not perfect. It never will be. Nobody can sit here. It's easy to sit here and analyze and nitpick, but I'm very pleased at this level of Overwatch from both of these teams so far. Yes! 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 Trying to mark Tracer on a disengage is out. Look at the Kiriko also walking forward with the dive. My only complaint here is I actually think it's pretty reasonable for Babel to actually TP in on the dive as long as he has Suzu. It's a high risk, high reward play, but I do think it's actually worth going for. Nice, guys. Nice. This is okay. One of the biggest impacts I had last season, briefly, was when I was working with Landon on Ana, and one of the things we worked on with Ana was not just being static, but being dynamic. When you lose space or you lose scouting, juke the dive and set up your own offensive plays by rotating and moving around the map. And I remember one scrum, oh my gosh, it really clicked for him. And dude, we were playing Shock, and I think it was Ilios, and Landon was just pounding Fen, and it was just the greatest thing ever. And obviously, like, you know, it was a brief window of time where we like really got all our ducks aligned and, you know, scrimbucks. But man, I remember in that moment, and this is exactly what he was doing, right? Juking dives, being unpredictable, being proactive, making it hard for them to control space. You know, in Overwatch 2, you just have to be so much more dynamic with your support playstyle, and yet still timing it really well, right? They've just dove, then Vigilante peeks on his flank. It was beautiful. And then now Vigilante just runs. Vigilante needs to run. Get pocketed by Fielder. You see, he's back here with the supports now. Oh no. Almost has the initial tick. They need to come back in to try and contest this. Lip gets hit by the bio, but Hawk able to counteract it. Playing against Kai. Yeah, so then they just counter dive though, because they still have struggled to control space. And give credit where credit is due, guys. Where credit is due. Babel goes in with TP on the backline, which is what I wanted him to do to initially. He finally does it here, and he kills backline. This is where, I mean, I think this fight's lost either way, but that's where Kiriko thrives, right? Is being able to go in aggressively there and not get punished. I mean, remember, Atlanta also doesn't have the Winston to counter dive and like zap the Kiriko. It's hard. Kiriko could play around D.Va, right? Yeah, it was honestly okay by GLADS there to try and trade. So I like when it feels like both teams have a good fundamental understanding of what they need to do, and then it kind of comes down to a little bit of timing, a little bit of execution, and a little bit of mechanics. Makes it fun to watch. Look at it now, Vigilante very aggressively holding that off angle. Very greedy from Dante, but that is taking a lot of attention, so that theoretically Atlanta should be losing this angle on the side here to Kevster and Babel. And looking at the HP, maybe it's happening. Well, Hawk is just losing a lot of HP. It certainly looks like it, because Kevster, where does Kevster come from? Yeah, see, Kevster makes it all the way to elevator, it looks like. It looks like Kevster actually gets the flank on our right. Does he? Yeah, he does. He does. So that's exactly what we expected. The nano, oh, it also forces a defensive nano as well. Oh, so they trade nano for nano, but the difference here is that Dante's close, and Kevster and Babel are close on the right side as well. Well, that's a good catch, PJ. I didn't even think about that. I mean, the GLADS are in a pretty good position to win this fight. The only problem here is obviously this and this is a little bit awkward considering that we have this and, you know, I guess really these three, mostly this one right here. So GLADS, at least in terms of positioning, have a lot of good angles. They have a lot of map control. They have point control as well. That's going to force a trance because of the angles that they controlled. And now, again, the question is... Oh, Dante doesn't have... So honestly, Dante probably should have just disengaged. Really nice timing from Atlanta, though. Oh, and he gets traded. There's a Kiriko ult on point, high value. Now the question is, will they be able to... Oh my gosh, that damage is unreal. I think it was alright. I think the Kitsune Rush was alright. High Noon, force a Tracer, High Noon. No pulse bomb, right? There's a window of time. There's the High Noon. What's Lips, though? Oh, huge sleep. Honestly, guys, at this point in time, it's so hard to track what's going on because the fights are so spread out. Again, Vigilante's going on the flank, though. You notice that they get choked out. So again, Vigilante, like clockwork, goes on the angle.
Great distance coverage with Gladiators from their spawn to get back in with numbers.
There's Vigilante with Stalker. You see that? And that's going to allow the combo kill on Babel. Vigilante does get exposed, though, because he is isolated, and Dante has Primal, so Vigilante will die. Kai gets a huge kill on Stalker. I don't know what happened. But GLADS finally hit their ult spike, right? Oof. I do think Lip's position there could have been a little bit more proactive. I think, like, as dynamic as Atlanta Reign have been playing, I think Lip could have been a little bit better position here. I mean, maybe not so much about the sleep dart, but I would have preferred Lip to maybe take a little bit more of an angle from underneath Cafe or swinging right here, taking a different off angle here. But, I mean, it's more nitpicking. I think, honestly, both teams played it reasonably well.
And I mean, when Gladiators can get into a position where they can set up their dives specifically with Dante and Kevster, and they can kind of just grab the game by the scruff of the neck and just say, we're winning this one, that's where Gladiators...
Now, this is where... Yeah, okay. This is really cool. I really like this swap from Kai. Not just because Kai funny Widowmaker, but because I was just about to open my mouth to say Gladiators should have a really hard time taking high ground. Anytime that they should take the elevator, they get discorded, they get shot, they get anti, they get naded. Hawk boots them off. Tracer marks Cart with Harmony and Discord, so they can't even push Cart. Gladiators need to find a way to contest high ground and dive high ground. They might be able to push Cart to like here with the Winston Tracer before they die, but they're not going to be able to. They're going to need to contest high ground, but the problem is obviously that the Onizin can play back here and just murder you as you walk forward with the Diva being pocketed aggressively here. The solution to that is to say, well, actually, we have the range advantage. Actually, you are now the team that should be scared to control this space because we're going to put our Widowmaker back here, long sightline onto your high ground so that you can't even peek. You can't even peek. Now we can push Cart safely to like here. Now, you're still going to have issues, but... No, people just get lazy with staggering, I'm not going to lie with you, or they're scared that they might mess up the stagger. There's nothing disrespectful about staggering. It just, some teams probably don't put as much emphasis on it. But yeah, this is a really excellent, this is an excellent swap from Kai. It's good. Remember, we talked about they're not going to be able to push Cart because these guys have the range advantage. They're just going to poke out Cart. Well, not anymore. Anytime that they even poke to Harmony or Discord point, right, you're risking getting Kai blowing your head off. So the adjustment from Atlanta is actually probably going to be something like putting Lip like here with Hawk and trying to pocket Cart from here where Kai doesn't have an angle on it, right?
Fights devolve a little bit and it's complete chaos.
But remember, you can't play it at hard anti-dive composition without losing something, right? You have no punish for Widowmaker. You have no hero that can punish Widowmaker. Now Lip might swap to Sombra, but you're going to see free Cart push from GLADS.
Getting a 3K as Kai goes over to their specialty Widowmaker here. We know how good it is on Hollywood B.
There it is! There's the Lip rotation, guys! There's the Lip rotation. Right to here. Right to here. Now, Now what do you do if you're GLADS? Okay, here's what you do if you're GLADS.
See if the Atlanta Rain is gonna.
Here's what you do if you're GLADS. I think you pocket cart underneath here where it's actually really hard for Lip to see, right? You push cart till about here. You see how it's really hard for Lip to even see Dante here? And then we see a 3-2-1 dive onto the high ground here with Babel following plus Kevster. I think that's what I see. So Lip's over here now. So you go from there. And then you have Kai covering from this off angle here with on a pocket.
Greed a little bit and peek these angles.
Yeah, it was over a minute now.
Kai does not get run down? No. He can't. It's too far away. Only Tracer would be able to reach him, and Lastro will easy pocket to solo Tracer. Hawk can't reach him. Too far.
So at that point, you can only track so much until finally.
And there it is. There it is, guys. You see the dive? So now we actually have Atlanta actually has to give up the high ground entirely. Oh, this is so good, guys. This is good, guys. This is really good. So far from GLADS, I'm actually really pleased by their setup here.
They're able to.
Oh, that shot has to land.
Oh my goodness! I think we all had a that's gonna be a moment. That's gonna be a moment.
Now, if you're GLADS, all you have to really do now is like drop your Tracer on the card or Winston on the card and just push card. Blank Iron, thank you very much for the sub. I don't like the nano. Oh, they're jumping on Lip. I don't really think that you need to force anything if you're GLADS here. Like, you can already see like how much space. Yeah, this is, guys, this is really good. Like, this is really good. They had 0 ults besides nano, and they're making this work really nice. Now you get your Ana Kiriko on high ground, and you play in a way that the Anazen have to stay on the floor. And Kai also gets high ground here too. So Kai is going to play super, super far back on the high, I think. Yeah, see, okay, let me be very clear. This has been textbook from Gladiators up to this point. I mean, really, truly, it's been about as close to as a perfect second point attack, given the ult situation, given the macro, as you possibly could have. It's really, really nice. My problem here is what we see on your screen right now. I don't know why I have both of my supports on the cart, because now this actually opens up Atlanta Rain to be able to take high ground with their own Tracer, with Sombra, with Anazen, or whatever that they want. And it also makes them more vulnerable to dive themselves. It also leaves Kai vulnerable. I would want Lastro at least up on high. Kevster on cart is fine. Dante probably staging from high as well. And then jumping Hawk within Widow sightlines to force this guy off. So then you can go for backline. Maybe Babel on top too. I don't understand GLAD's current positioning right now. Current positioning right now. Sentences that make no sense. So I assume Lastro's going top. It looks like Lastro might be on the floor. That's not good. Yeah, you're going to need to find a way to play in a way to avoid on LOS. Oh, why is Kai about to die?
Stick goes wide though. That would have been a beautiful opportunity for Gladiators to get both Vigilantes and a fielder, but wide though. That would have been a beautiful opportunity for
you just can't be on the floor, guys. You just can't be on the floor. It's too easy, too much cover, too easy for them to sustain. That's just really poor from GLADS. They just really, really choked it. No, nobody has replays. I don't know why they're on floor. You need to control high to make that dive a lot harder. The dive was way too easy from Atlanta. That was way too easy from Atlanta. Kai goes Hanzo, reasonable enough. It was just stupid. I'm so disappointed, guys. It was so good. Hanzo's just really good versus Sombra.
That's sometimes how it goes with Hanzo.
Yep. Love some tree.
It's the longer sightlines. If it was a shorter sightline map, they'd probably go Cassidy, but it's like longer sightlines, so there's like a better chance for a snipe.
only the best.
Nice. Take high ground. Take high ground. Take high ground. Look. Take high ground. 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 I guess maybe you don't even need to now. You've got so many picks.
Payload's still pushing. Atlanta Reign, you know, they're just kind of being routed away from this, and despite the time being very low, the Kitsune Rush should be able to guarantee this as long as they focus fire. Beautiful Bionade to come through by Lastro into the back. Gladiators feeling really good about this as they only just have over 2 meters. Babel, scary now as you have to swift stuff out of there.
Yeah, okay. They just get kills. They just get kills. Okay.
Literally, Kai hit what, you know, hit him. Mahogany log, and with Fielder not there, you lose so
mechanics.
much ability to heal.
That Ana should have died.
Because you've opted into
Tragedy.
Look at how forward.
There's a Kiriko aggression, by the way. And as long as you could pocket Babel, he gets right back out again. So, I mean, it was scary there for certain, but there's your Kiriko advantage, right? You TP in, you Suzu, and you still have time to be able to TP out again. Kevster needs to be spy checking.
With the EMP.
They're dead. They didn't do a very good job spy checking here.
Dante out of that extensive sleep to recover and fall back, so they will be able to manage.
Yeah. This is just not a great spy checking.
Sombra with the EMP. Going to unleash it.
I'm not sure if it's because Kevster had like pulse bomb or whatever, but honestly that dive is way too free from Atlanta. Because it's like, it's weird. It's like the tables have kind of turned now to where it's like actually Atlanta Reign is kind of setting, not setting tempo, but they're playing like longer range around Sombra. So whenever Sombra is set up, GLADS really need to make sure that she's not able to play the game. And then if they're able to force her, then they can kind of close the distance on Atlanta. Yeah. They're also stacked when they know they have EMP. That's true as well. Widow and Babel on high ground previously? Yeah. Hey. They do. Babel does go in with the Winston as we predicted, so they get a good trade.
Yeah, that's when you have to take on the chin if you're the Gladiators in this.
I mean, I think that's probably okay from Babel and Dante, but yeah, I think Kevster, Lafster, I think we could have played better around that. I'm not sure if Babel going in for backline trade is better there either. I'm not sure. It's not the end of the world either way.
One ultimate to win that fight, so Lip uses EMP, but look at everything else. It seems pretty much even between both of these teams, and with the Transcendence healing that's going to be coming from Vigilante, they can blanket a lot of what the the Los Angeles Gladiators are going to be doing in this next fight.
Oh, that was so.
I also think I want Sonic Arrow right above us here. I think that's what I want for Sombra and Tracer. I should probably throw my Sonic over there. I don't think that Sonic is. I mean, that Sonic's not bad. But I guess we already knew where Stalker is. I mean, it's all right. Nice shot. Huge shot. That's what the Sombra or the Hans is there for, right? You don't even have to hit that headshot. Body shot there, and the Tracer's gone. The dive's dead. The Nano Hanzo as well. It's hilarious. Yeah, felt like, honestly, a little bit of a poorly timed dive. Obviously, a huge shot, but just not a particularly... There's no reason to force that dive that far outside of Ana's and LOS. You could kind of wait for them to walk into you. Because the thing is, it's like you still have a relatively immobile backline, so you don't really want to force... Oh, that's huge. Trance and Nano. Kai dies, though. Atlanta should hold this. Oh, no. Huge kill. Hawk does get remake, though. Oh! He has to focus on eating shots from Ana. Oh! I mean, honestly, chat, we're just going to let it roll. Because there's not a lot to learn here. This is just mechanics. Oh no, the spawn kill on Kai? Was it the spawn kill? No, it wasn't a spawn kill. He's right there. It's going to be Kevster rounding the center. The numbers advantage. Rain can't get back into this. Gladiators with their shields. Wow. GLADS played really well for the most part in that attack. I think like the first point and second point attack in particular was like really clean. Honestly, both teams are playing at a pretty high level right now. Yeah, that was really impressive. Okay, let's keep watching. Do you guys have any questions so far? I'm trying to like move along at a slightly faster pace now that we've kind of hammered the fundamentals so much. I don't want to like repeat myself too much. We might have to kind of reevaluate depending on what we see here compositionally wise, because it is a different matchup. But yeah, I'm really enjoying this. This is a really high level Overwatch, especially again for this early in the season. Moira. This map gets a bit silly. Uh-oh. Because that second map, out of all the scrim maps that I've analyzed, that was probably the highest level Overwatch combined from both teams. Out of any of the scrim maps or official pro analysis that I've watched. Hey, Ethan. What does D.Va do against that comp? Just hard mark. Hard mark. Hard, try to bully Winston ahead of time. Sit on their tracer. Control cart. Yeah. Okay.
Just let's leave that for a moment.
Guys, let's wait till they roll out. See what comps.
I think comp is would have lost.
All right. How do Atlanta Reign win? So the Moira was kind of silly. I would probably prefer an Ana. What do you guys win? How do Atlanta Reign win? Dives in, right. So you need to find ways to close the distance and get pressure on Hanzo, Bappers in. Right? That's it. That's it. Now Dawnhack is in, which means that's why you see Gladiators on Tracer and not Widowmaker Hanzo. Because they know the ball is coming up. So they're going sort of like an anti-dive spam comp with Hanzo and Tracer instead of Widow and Tracer. There is a world where you could see a Kiriko swap here later on as well. So they're trying to close the distance, guys. They're trying to close the distance. Very open map. Atlanta's on the Moira, I assume, to try and aggressively... Like, you guys know how like a Kiriko can play aggressively with a flanker? And enable the flanker and play aggressively like with that flanker? Moira does the exact same thing. We've talked about this in stream before. She's just worse at it. She does the exact same thing. She's just worse at it. I think I would prefer an Ana that just kind of pockets the ball. It's not that that playstyle doesn't work with Moira. I just don't think the hero is like fundamentally strong enough. Like the theory of having two flankers with two supports is good. I just think Moira is not a very strong hero. That's the problem. It's not like Ana makes more sense because Ana, when the theory of the comp, I mean, Ana in the theory of the comp is kind of awkward, right? Your nano is not going to be that good. You have to worry about sightlines and snipers, and Ana doesn't like that very much. But just Moira is just not a very good hero. Why not Lucio over Moira? You tell me. I mean, you tell me. I'm not sure. I'm honestly, yeah. I mean, you could say that the map is too wide, but I think Fielder just doesn't play Lucio. I mean, to me, I'm not sure why Atlanta... Maybe Atlanta was trying something? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe they didn't want to lock themselves. Maybe they want to try a double sniper defense. And so that they need the double flex support. I don't know. Gladiators just have to mark, like permanently mark. And the good news is that Tracer is obviously really, really good at marking flanks and dueling DPS, which is ironic, right? She's really good against her counterparts, right? Especially if she gets Harmony in Discord. And actually Hanzo's pretty good too. I mean, we saw that versus the Sombra Tracer, but also you guys don't forget that Sonic Arrow is really, really nice at scouting angles. Like you can Sonic this flank here, you can Sonic the high ground there. Gives you a lot of information about the dive. In addition, obviously you don't have Sleep Dart, but Discord will make Ball's life miserable if they mess up a dive. So yeah. Dante's job is actually pretty weird, honestly. Dante is, you know, what's kind of funny is like this composition kind of makes Dante's life kind of miserable because there's not a lot that Dante can do. Dante can kind of control Moira, kind of control Tracer, kind of can rock Ball, but a lot of what's going to happen is just kind of avoid Dante, play to dodge Dante. And so I wouldn't be surprised if Dante honestly swapped here. D.Va would probably be the best pick to aggressively, proactively control space. Doomfist would be better than Ball. Sigma, it would be higher risk, higher reward, but much higher reward. Yeah, potentially. Fade Cole is really, really quite good, but this is old patch, so yeah.
We're gonna start doing this.
Yeah, let's see what happens. Proactive pressure. Proactive pressure. Proactive pressure. Keep pressure on that Sombra Tracer Ball. Always. Lip is already in. Wild. Kevster on the marking duties with Zenyatta Pocket. Will they be able to stop Ball Tracer from coming from this off angle? Because if it's just Lip on Lastro, we're happy.
Very clean execution, as you can already already see Lastro in the sights, watching and waiting to sneak up.
Yeah.
In the
That'll do.
sights, watching,
That'll do.
waiting to sneak up.
They tried to mark. Like, you can see definitely Dawn Hack is taking damage. Obviously, I think the priority should be on Stalker. And maybe Kai should have been more... I guess Kai's trying to contest this space because it looks like Stalker comes from over here, which means that he probably should have been marked better than he was. My main problem actually is I think Lasser's positioning is kind of dookie. I think Lasser could have been in this door frame here and probably would have had a much better chance of surviving. He's out of position. He's just out of position. I don't like his position there. That being said, we get the punish, and now we have the opportunity to push. We need to go. We need to be with our Zenyatta and such. We need to be trying to walk forward to take space. Dante's trying to control backline, doing a pretty decent job of it.
From other angles, and Donghak in this position, I mean, it's going to be hard to heal him unless the Kiriko goes up there as the pile driver comes in.
And there's the Brig swap. I like the swap. It's a good swap. Oh, Dante. Yeah, the Sigma is just very easy to isolate, right? So basically what they do is they threaten the backline. So the backline plays super safe. Dante doesn't respect that, and then Dante gets isolated and Dante gets killed. Dante is almost certain to swap.
Really understanding the angular momentum that the Wrecking Ball brings into this, and again, they weren't particularly in line with the healing, but Lip now is going to get that stagger pick onto Dante.
And see, this is the thing with the Kiriko, like you can, and the Moira, like you don't win Tracer duels necessarily, but your Kiriko and Moira can play so much more aggressively.
Falling apart for Gladiators, and now you're going to consistently see again.
They're trying to mark. There's the Diva swat.
Draw attention away. They can't even look at the rest of the squad of Rain because they're constantly having to keep check on Tour. This Wrecking Ball.
I just don't know about the Moira swap, honestly, though. Dawn Hack kind of feeds. He takes too much damage here, and he doesn't have adaptive shields. So if anything here, he should be rolling back to his team, but he rolls away. And then the problem with this composition is that you just don't have, if you're not actively killing one of the backliners, you don't have, you can't, Dante will just never die.
Low, yes, I mean, they finally managed to get the kill, but look at all the space that's created here. I think it was a little bit of miscoordination, though. Atlanta gets too big for their britches in that scenario.
Yeah, I agree with the casters. I think there was a little bit of a coordination mess up there. They needed to be playing a lot more aggressively with the attention that Dawn Hack was getting, but they were not able to.
But actually, I think the Brigitte does do a lot.
That Brig is massive here. The Brig is just going to do everything that Zenyatta did, but being less fragile yourself.
The fact that Gladiators didn't pick the Widowmaker.
And then Vigilante goes Zen because they go Brig. But in my opinion, it should be the opposite swap. You should go Zen instead of Moira and keep the Kiriko. I don't understand this swap at all. I think it's a Vigilante I mean, obviously Vigilante is more comfortable on the Zenyatta, but man, it's a shame to lose 50% of your Kiriko ult charge when Kiriko is the best support that you have. The reason they're swapping Zen is they're going, okay, you guys want to try and play short sightlines to deny our dive? We're going to go back and play more range and do the same exact thing. But we're playing a little bit of ring around the rosy here with our ultimates here.
The Brigitte does do a lot, especially a Brigitte the caliber of Lastro, to negate a lot of the dives that Donghak is going to be bringing to the table. And
there's the Tracer mark. You could honestly have your Brig playing a little bit aggressively up on this, like in the staircase here, with eyes on Kevster, while still being able to pack and deny.
Because of the fact that
the thing with Brig as well is you can deny ball engages pretty easily as well. I guess Lasso is stuck on Car, which is a little unfortunate. I like Kai's positioning too. There's the hack. There's the armor pack. There's the Diva booster. There's the punish on. I mean, this is really well set up from GLADS, honestly. Like they have an off angle from Kai so that if the BAP gets dove, Kai is safe, right? So Kai can just free fire. Lastro is in a position where he can't deny the slam, but he can't armor pack. Dante peels back. And the problem, obviously, with this composite, there's no backline follow-up, really, from Atlanta, so that Dante can just peel and not have to worry about the stuff that he's giving up. Meanwhile, Kevster denies the backline basically by himself. So, yeah. The neutral value of GLADS poke gets more value over time. Right. I just don't like the Moira, guys. I think the map is too wide open for Moira. I think Kiriko Zen could work here. I think Kiriko Lucio could work here. Heck, you could probably run a BAP Zen variant of your own and just run it fine, or on a Zen variant of your own. I just don't like the Moira. Okay, so here we go. You see this? Look at the angles that we have here. So the EMP is fat, but honestly, if anybody should die, it's just Babel. Whereas Dante actually could have dodged the EMP. Honestly, okay, here's the funny thing.
EMP is available, and here comes the engage.
Here's the funny thing. Dante doesn't dodge the EMP because I think Dante's surprised at how fast the EMP comes out. I don't think Dante thought that they'd EMP right now. And I agree with him. I think backline is kind of tied up elsewhere. So Dante's just like, oh, they're going to EMP in probably like 5-10 seconds, right? Oh, okay, we're EMPing now. So he gets hit. But obviously, because it's so early, it's okay that he gets hit because there's not enough follow-up. It's only lip right now. And then it's mines. But by the time that actually obviously happens, the Matrix and Lamp have come off of. This is too early. This is too early. The backline wasn't ready, ball wasn't ready. This is a solid 1.5 seconds too early, which is a long time in pro timing. Oh, I forgot to announce stream in Discord today. Whoopsies. So this is way too early, and so they're going to counter rally. Kevster's still controlling space here. It's just too early. It's just not a well-executed dive from Atlanta. And then obviously the problem is when the dive doesn't work, now it's just a matter of time before Kai or Kevster gets a pick, right? If this isn't the spot for Moira to be played, in your opinion, where can she be played, if anywhere? Nowhere. 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 The only thing that I would say is if this same matchup was being played on like King's Row, then maybe. Somewhere where the vertical, kind of vertical mobility, shorter sightlines. But even then, you just play Lucio. But I'm guessing if you're on double flex support and double flex support for whatever reason, yeah, I just don't see it working. I just don't see it working. And if it is going to work, then you need to somehow keep Vigilante on Kiriko, right? And let Fielder play aggressively with the dive. Like Fielder needs to be like here, like doing rollouts and foolishness. You know what I'm saying? Like the problem with the Moira is that, gosh, we went Zenyatta, but now Kevster's threatening my Zenyatta. So my Moira is sitting back there peeling Zenyatta instead of actually going in aggressively with my DPS and diving. This swap honestly was like not that good. If anybody, like I said, should have swapped, it should have been Kirita Zen. I don't get it. It's trolling. You're trolling the lobby. And now they just have to reset. 2 ultimates for 1. There's the dive again. It's going to be peeled off easily. They try to split their dive. It doesn't work. The slam. Peel me, peel me, peel me, peel me, peel me, peel me. What? Well, finally, about darn time he got Moira involved. Where the heck is Moira? Wait, no way! How? So they cold dive. They do time this one well, though. The dragon is whatever. Where's Lastro? Where's my peel here, mate? He gets pack. He kind of feeds with the positioning, I guess, a little bit. I mean, finally the Moira gets aggressive and they win, I guess. I would have liked more peel from Dante, I think. Yeah, you know what? Okay, I'm trying to find someone to blame here. I do think this is on Dante. I think Dante needed to be burning something here better. Probably peeling back on ball here. Because I don't think there's enough backline. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he's trying to control Zenyatta. I'm not sure.
I mean, Gladiators are
I'm not sure if it was an audible or coached, honestly.
Dante was
I mean, I can see the logic behind it. It's just not very good logic.
for as long as they did after all of those engages was off the
That's true, Revo Reverse. Yeah, that's true.
on him. So again, the Gladiators are doing a really decent job.
Get rolled,
of getting
Kevster.
these dives when they are coming in from Yana and a little bit more.
Vigilante's forehead.
Here offers themselves a little
Thank
bit
you.
more self-heal as well. You do lose the immortality field, but it probably wasn't getting enough as much value.
Did Babel use shift too early? Let's find out. I think yes. Yes, he did. I think Dawnhack actually baits him by walking up because Babel thinks he's going to get slammed. And he doesn't slam until after the shift is done. So that was actually a really big brain play from Dawnhack. That was a good catch. So he grapples up, shoots. Babel panics and shifts, thinking that he's slamming, but he doesn't slam. So his shift gets basically 0 value, and then he slams. Babel literally should be about 160 HP right now if he had shift.
Just looking right into the eyes of the ball.
He should be 100 HP higher than he is right now, and that's why he dies. And that's also why Kai dies. So that was a good catch first off, y'all. But yeah, massive play from Dawnhack.
Once the fight evolved, now Bella's gone over to the Yana, a little bit more in an enclosed area here, offers themselves a little bit more self-heal as well. You do lose the immortality.
Now we're on a real comp.
Probably wasn't getting enough, as much value anyways, especially against Assault.
Attempt now on the pile drive, a little bit off of
So now GLADS kind of have to get some sort of pressure on the backline now. You know, you're going to mark the Tracer as best as you can. See, they're trying to walk, but I think you need to kind of try and mark before you walk. And yeah, see, this is what happens, right? So this is the classic right here, right? Watch this. So they're like, let's push, let's go, let's go. Lastro's in. Babel's kind of trying to rotate, but then they're like, oh shoot, we can't rotate because ball's going to slam us. So then there's hesitation, and then you see a split. And then Lastro's legit just trolling the lobby right now. He's just all the way in. That's on Lastro. You really need to kind of like posture aggressively, hold this corner aggressively, look at ball, look at Tracer, try and force a cooldown, and then you can aggressively rotate. It's just a feed by Lastro. That being said, that's a huge kill on Lip. Lip isn't able to translocate out in time.
over and over again from different angles. A 1-for-1 trade. Lip goes down, but they've lost the support for Gladiators, so it's all on Babel for the moment. One trade. Lip. A Hornet continuing to sting you over and over and over again.
Hornet continuing to sting me over and over again. Big mines, they're stuck in a small room. Lastro's dead though, so their capability to like peel this stuff off is a lot weaker. Kai dies the pulse. They get the sleep, they get the kill on Dawnhack, they get the timing perfectly, and a huge kill from Kevster. It's probably worth using bomb for that, honestly, in this comp. Like, you're not likely to be able to remech versus this comp. Like, there's like the second you're in Baby Diva, you probably die too fast. But yeah.
Right in front of him while he slept, and that's one of the things that Ana does offer is that ability to CC the.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the matchmaking is going on in terms of like servers and such. They swap Winston. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't like the Winston actually that much. I think this comp would be very hard to play Winston versus. The Sigma makes more sense. You're actually like playing like a like something that can actually poke the Ana Brig Cassidy out. This comp is basically just meant to absorb and prevent your diving from happening, but it's not meant as well to poke because like now, outside of what the Sombra can maybe do to Sombra or Tracer, or what the Brig can do to Sombra to Tracer, there's nothing Brig can really do versus Sigma whatsoever. So it's typical.
Actually does bring out the
Or hack out a remake. That's true. Yeah. So I do like on the Atlanta Reigns comp. I want Lip to swap if he can get a chance on recontest to probably Cassidy. Nice. Again, it's the off angles here, right? It's like you take off angles and you spam. Create range and spam. And this is what we want to see. Obviously, Vigilante has to be careful, but this is the kind of stuff that this comp is going to struggle a little bit more with. Like
as they maneuver away. Oh, okay. Well, that's just an easy 4 for the EMP. Dante gonna go to sleep.
oh, Lastro.
Okay, well, that's just an easy 4 for the.
What happens to Lastro, ladies and gentlemen?
Dante gonna go to sleep away. Oh,
I don't know what happens. By the way, do you notice that the support's being split, but with an LOS of each other? So if the Diva decides to dive, the Tracer decides to dive, they can peel this one off.
for the EMP.
It looks like he eats shots from Dawnhack, Stalker,
Gonna go to sleep.
or maybe Lip at the same time. He gets rolled. There's a Tracer dive in the Ana, but it's easily peeled off. That's a nice setup from Atlanta. That's a nice setup from Atlanta. Vigilante is really good at holding attention left. Vigilante knows his angle flank limits. I'm surprised they even killed him there. He's really, really good at knowing his limits of how aggressively he can take angles. Oh, what? What happened? I think they must have found his translocator in spawn. I think they found his translocator in spawn. Anyway, knowing his limits. Yeah. I don't know what happens. No, I've not seen any of this game. So there's a Dante swap to Sigma. We almost certainly see a lip swap. I think Sombra was atrocious. Yeah, there it is. Versus the Brig, Ana. And now Atlanta Reign have the better comp. I really think besides the Moira, the comp swaps have made mostly sense from both teams. It's just the Moira that was bad. Yep, the Widow is definitely the swap here. Not just the point, but also versus the Brig. Like, what is Lasher supposed to do on this hero? Like, you know, especially at this point, you know, like to answer. By the way, to answer that question accurately, he can play here, but it's probably too risky for him. The best thing that Lasher could probably do is aggressively hold this off angle with Hanzo and just basically prevent Stalker from actually being able to take away this angle from Kai. So I actually don't want Lasher here. I want Lasher here. Fundamentals of Brig. Assist your DPS on off angles instead of frontlining. Like, he should not be here. He should be holding this position here so that Kai can legit just AFK and shoot whatever he wants. It's not just about the shield for the Hanzo. It's all for the fact that Stalker literally, outside of Pulse Bomb, has to be very careful about actually pushing this. Should Brig swap here? He should swap. Yeah, I'm telling you what he can do to get value, but it's not optimal. And Kai will almost certainly swap as well. Babel probably needs to use Nano sooner rather than later to try to swap to something more sniper-friendly as well. Yeah, you need to find something to do with the Brig. Big nade from Fielder. I'm trying to find out where our supports are. I think maybe just on cart. Yeah, they're just on cart, but they're rotating. They're taking angles.
Doesn't quite get the takedown onto Kai, but looks to fence the sight line to really keep these angles close.
Like, I want my Brig here so that she can actually, like, assist my Hanzo to push this more aggressively. Like, you can see there's nothing that Brig can do to keep Dante alive. Like, Inspire's not going to keep your tank alive. It's not. Oh my gosh. You guys are killing me with the gifted subs. Thank you so much, mate. 10 stuff. Matt, donuts and coffee. Thank you, mate. The Big Yak. Jasmine's Toxic, Degenerate, High Roll, Serial Killer. Hey, Jasmine. Fabric, Robert, Ruber. Hey, Ruber. Chris, Captain Jesus, Ayo. And 2 more subs, Revel, Reverse, and Glitch. Thank you guys so much. You guys are being super generous. I really, really appreciate this. Now pronounce Gregor's name. Gregor. I'm a big fan of Gregor. Gregor's a pretty good guy. Ha, they see that little 360 from Babel there? So, we'll see a swap from Lastro, probably to Zen. Yeah, I'm trying to, yeah, he's gonna swap Zen. Might see a swap from Kai as well, but Kai might actually live here. I mean, Gregor is the, is his Chad name.
Needs to swap here. The Rig is not going to get any value at this moment.
Yeah, agreed. Nice kill from Kai though. That's going to stop the snowball. But yeah, I really appreciate the gift of subs, man. You guys have been super generous today. Thank you. All right. I'd say comps are about even here. I mean, I think the Widowmaker is definitely slightly better, but honestly, Hanzo defense is pretty good too, especially when we're in single fight territory. So what's going to end up happening is the cart will get to about here, probably before anything happens. And Hanzo's actually pretty darn good at this point here, because being able to use this angle here, being able to use this angle here, even flanking underneath, gives him a little bit more flexibility than Widowmaker there. So, yeah. Valorant makes their players look like models. When Overwatch, we get 4 headshots. I mean, I think it's more on the organizations themselves. Yeah. Of course, I'm one to throw stones with the camera that I have. Of course, yeah. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about ultimates, because we haven't talked as much about ultimates. Is this going on YouTube? Planning on it. Yep. So Ultimates here. So I think what's very likely is we're probably going to see a Nano onto Tracer or Sigma, just because those are the heroes that can actually do aggressive with it. You could Nano the Sigma to try and win the Sigma trade that forces them to kind of back off and set up your own DPS for off angles. You could also try and Nano your Tracer through this door right here. That allows an angle here, but more likely an angle behind backline. That's pretty good as well. There's not a lot, like, sniper maps are always rough, especially when you get these situations here. You could see just like a Nano on Sigma, probably force a flux, whatever. For GLADS, really, it's gonna be Nano Sigma, most likely. Kevster will either be like hard marking this choke here, or doing some shenanigans on the flank, like you can see him, I think, right there, yeah. So it's not likely that he's going to be able to get Nano, so we'll probably see a counter Nano from Babel onto Dante whenever they do anything aggressive. Yeah. There's not going to be a whole lot creative, y'all. I would be shocked if there was anything creative.
Yeah, push and pull here through this archway.
But then now... Oh, there you go, Kai. There you go, Kai. Nice, Kai. Honestly, Kai may not even swap at this point in time, even if he does die, because they're at the point. Oh my gosh, they're at the point of Havana where I think Hanzo is as good as Widowmaker just because of the architecture. And Dragon's pretty good here on this choke as well. Sonic on Widow is really nice.
Subtle hair trim on the brow.
Subtle hair trim on the brow. Careful.
This is absolutely just
Sonic on the Tracer. I actually don't like the Sonic on the Tracer here. It's pretty easy to ping this guy. You need Sonic for the Widowmaker, I think. I think Sonic on Tracer when she's on like a good flank is really helpful. Like if you lost eyes on Tracer and wanted to like Sonic the flank over here, but you don't even need that because Kevster's there. Or if you want the Sonic beneath you to make sure that the enemy backline is not trying to do any funny rotations. This is a waste of a Sonic. Widowmaker's scouting is way more important right now. Because there's nothing the enemy team can do that's surprising. Donak's trying to go for something aggressive. They get the Nano onto Lastro. Why did they Nano Lastro? Does he get rocked or something, or body shot? Oh, they Nano Tracer. They counter Nano. That's exactly what we talked about, right? So they Nano Tracer and they counter Nano. I was expecting more of a Nano in the Sigma trade, but they Nano Tracer, and so it's the same result, though. You counter Nano. And then they're going to Flux. Lastro could be in trouble here. Nope, he's going to get on a pocket. Okay, we're good to go. The Tracer is out by the time that Flux actually lands. Yeah. I mean, I'm going to be honest, y'all. This is why it's hard, you know? Like, you need to find some... You have to set up some sort of creative play. Atlanta Reign was trying, but they're not successful. Yeah, I don't think they touch. Okay. Why do they value Ana over BAP with Sigma here? They just were on Ana. That was the problem. They were on Ana previous to this, so then for more anti-dive purposes... Which I think Ana is much better versus anti-dive in a lot of circumstances. Wait, what happens here? Wait, what did I miss, y'all?
we gotta put that, I think as we take a look. We have the replay of that? Let's do that. We do have the replay.
I love our producers.
Yeah, stay on top of this.
Oh, they're going for the touch. I don't know if they would have gotten it. Oh, that's hilarious, y'all. The Genji swap is actually pretty good in my opinion. I mean, I know it's for touch or whatever, but I think the Genji's pretty good. Opinion on Stalker so far? I mean, we know Stalker's good. Posture check, thank you. You thought KSP went missing? Did you go like pull Snillo mode? Whatever, go out in the forest, pick mushrooms. Never heard from again. This is more of what I was expecting from Atlanta Reign, honestly, on the attack as well. The Ana Zen combo with the dive makes sense. I think if GLADS want to counterpick this, I think you probably go Hanzo Tracer, Sigma. I think the Sigma is actually pretty decent here because they're on Ana Zen backline, so it's pretty easy for Sigma to control Ana Zen backline as opposed to like a Kiri Moira, right? You can actually like spam pressure, block nades, shoot Discord, that kind of thing. And then support line, I think Kiriko On is honestly pretty reasonable. I would be scared to run Zenyatta versus the Ball Summer Tracer if you aren't like all-inning on like the spam stuff. So you'd run around like a Diva or something. So I think Kai goes Hanzo. I think GLADS comp is okay.
The similar composition position for the Atlanta Reign on the
So maybe Kai's just like looking for some pot shots, but I assume he's going to go Hanzo.
and I think on the offensive end, it's like much
Yeah.
easier to pilot because you don't have to worry about all the flanks.
So this is, I think, a reasonable counter swap. I think this makes sense. Good scouting potential, good anti-dive potential. Babel can work with Kevster to kind of control space versus Stalker. Your other support isn't just like immediately glass. Yeah, this is good.
Better in that way.
And then, like I said, the Sigma is a lot less trash than it was in defense because you actually have an honest and backline to kind of protect during dives.
Using like
Turd.
arrow, being always vigilant to where there's going to be a Sombra. Like here again.
Oh.
Exactly where it is. This time though, arrow being always vigilant. There's going to be a Sombra. Like here again, using.
I'm curious how Stalker, like, I keep seeing Stalker, like, somehow is able to... So this is what I predict. Stalker somehow is avoiding getting marked a lot of the time. So what I'm thinking here is I imagine Stalker is somewhere up here with Zen Pocket and double blinks across this way. And that's kind of how he avoids getting marked. Yeah, just switch to his PFV. Let me do that real fast.
Rusty Hanzo, who has been performing extremely well. I think that they're not only just their mechanical prowess.
So they just don't get the peel. They don't get the punish. I mean look, like, this is the problem with GLADS so far is part of it is a problem, part of it is also just really, really well played by Atlanta. I mean, look at this, y'all. Like, Lip isn't getting shot, Stalker's not getting shot, Dawnhack is basically full HP, and they're not able to force Lip Translocator. He gets slam, hack, and damage. Now, the reason why the pre-hack is really, really good is it means that when Lip does come out of stealth, he's immediately shooting and he's not hacking first. This means that on the dive itself, there's more damage. The risk, though, is that there's a chance that during the hack animation, Kai finds Lip and forces him out. You guys kind of see what I'm saying, right? So Lip gets the hack. If he doesn't get forced out, it means that the dive that follows that is going to be a lot easier. That's why he did this hack here, right? So he already has the scouting and the damage multiplier on his own damage.
Like recon arrow, being always vigilant to where there's going to be a Sombra. Like here again, you know exactly where it is. This time.
That's a really good dive. Could there have been a sleep dart there? Could Babel have TP'd back in Suzu'd? Probably. I mean, I think Babel definitely needs to TP back in Suzu. Once he and Kevster have failed to mark the Tracer, Kevster can't really blink back and chase, but Babel can. Yeah, that's why Kai never speaks, because if Kai speaks, you guys would have heard the squeaky voice. That would have sounded way too familiar. It's a nice dive by Atlanta. That's a nice dive by Atlanta. And then, you know. But I do think that's a mistake from Babel. I think there's probably a mistake from Laster being able to peel that one off as well. And honestly, Kai should have hit the shot. Kai needs to hit at least the body shot on Lip to force him out earlier. A lot of that damage did come from the Sombra.
Good position on this map in particular, but the way Dante was playing defense.
Feels like Hanzo's very vulnerable. Yeah, it's a good argument. I mean, then you're gonna see they're gonna do a little bit of round robin, where they're gonna go on a Brig, which is fair to me. I think it's totally fine. I just don't think that Ana Kiriko was necessarily a bad play if you play it properly. It's just higher risk, higher reward. Maybe it's not as optimal versus the Sombra Tracer variant. So we might at some point see Lip go to like Cassidy, and then all of a sudden this hero becomes irrelevant, and we might see the Kiriko come back out again. I do like the little bit of rock paper scissors stuff that we're going on right now. It's fun. Hey, Salty Egg. Cheers, mate. Congratulations. That's on you, mate. That's on you. 90% of ranked stuff, if I was able to accelerate that process a little bit, but you did the work. And really, by the way, guys, nothing has changed with the Brig. Nothing has changed with the Brig. You're still going to have Brig trying to enable Kevster to not lose the duel too hard, and Laster is just going to try and deny the dive. But yeah, fast meta, thank you for the sub, mate. Congratulations, you are now an above average player. That was what we were missing. That's what we were missing right there in the previous dive. Bam. There it is. Lastro, what? So Lastro is on the bottom right of our screen. Lastro has been trolling a little bit with positioning, y'all, on Zenyatta and Brig. This is trolling. This is trolling. He's standing with his tank, not near cover besides payload. and not enabling his deep. Like really, if anything, you'd have Lastro kind of playing here, shielding here, or playing up on this angle, up on this wall here with Tracer. This is trolling. How come I sound British sometimes? Did you live there? I don't know. It's probably just the pronunciation. I mean, I do have a British heritage, but obviously that has nothing to do with pronunciation. I don't know. I don't know why I sound British. But yeah, Lastro trolls with this positioning. I've got like the most Scottish... I guess it's technically Scottish, not British. Jacob Scott Clifton. But that has not... I don't know why I sound British, honestly. I really don't. Yeah, I mean, honestly, there's not a lot to add there. Like, Lastro goes Brig and then proceeds to feed with the positioning. I've not been impressed with Lastro this series. I think Lastro's positioning for the moment... I mean, it's too hard to say from just like 3 or 4 fights, but 3 or 4 fights have been kind of trolled because Lastro goofed up his positioning. And even a couple of fights where they weren't lost, but Lastro just doesn't look positioning. Who wins the 1v1 between Sombra and Tracer, percentage-wise? Tracer almost always wins the 1v1, unless the Tracer makes a huge mistake. Tracer, especially at the pro level, Tracer should never lose the 1v1. Too much time with Christopher and Backbone? Maybe, yeah. The Diva swap as well. Yeah, see, like, the thing is like, the Diva swap is fine, but it feels like the Kiriko swap, where to Brig, where it just isn't necessary if Gladiators are playing their game. Let's put it that way. Because the Diva is going to be a lot worse at controlling the backline for making plays. It's going to be like more. Do you guys ever have like the you know, your Zenyatta gets doved by Tracer once and then swaps Moira, you know, in your plat games? That's kind of what's happening here to like a very, very diluted version here with the Brig swap and the Diva swap. Maybe a little less with the Brig swap. I think I'm fun, but it shouldn't be necessarily if you're playing it properly to control space. And the concern is that obviously you're losing ult charge along with that swap, and it might not actually be the better swap. It's just the easier swap. She's good at fighting translocator too. Yep. Lastro just fed. It's really not that deep. He was standing out in the open. He's standing out in the open again, and we get another 5-man EMP. Like, it's a 5-man EMP, guys. A 5-man EMP. Nobody dodges that. I don't know. I've been much less impressed with the GLADS play on this map in particular.
We'll get about one more ultimate rotation in this next couple of pushes here. Kai has been...
And honestly, an ult for what? 30 seconds is all right. It's 30 seconds of time wasted from the starting point of when they started to when they got to that position again. Now, this was good. So they're actually respecting cover now. They get a body shot on Stalker, who kind of goofs up his positioning. Kevster trying to mark out. Oh, the peel was there. He just lands in a mine. I will say this though. A consistent... Hi, kitty. Grim. Come here. Come here. One consistent theme that I'm seeing here is that Donhack is honestly getting every single slam and every single roll through. Every single one. I'm not even sure where he was positioned here. It looks like he just rolls through the door here, like the door frame over there, and he just gets the boop. So obviously it's crazy like little boop play there from Donhack, but there's a reason we're running Brig. Like it I don't know. Lastro has to be doing a better job denying this. He has to be doing a better job than this. Right, it feels like nothing's being done to deny. We're running Ana, Brig, Diva, Tracer, and Sombra's not getting spy checked, Ball's not getting booped, nobody's getting slept, bashed, whip shot, naded, nothing. Nothing. And I'm putting the majority of the blame there on Lastro, but I do think, I'm curious to see, I can't really see Kevster's POV, but it's just not good. There's the Cassie swap, a little bit more survivability, a little bit less range. You're going to do much worse versus the Ana Zen as Cassidy. Thank you. Thank you. Now punish the ball. They nano the ball. That's actually super weird. Thank you. Thank you. That's all we needed. Don't get hacked. Don't let the ball do what he wants. That's it.
Playing the corner, they know they've got room to work with, so they're giving.
That's it. That's all it took.
Playing the corner, they know they've
Kai takes an angle, gets a good poke on Stalker. Kevster's trying to deny the off. This is good. We're good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm gonna watch Lastro here. Lastro, do not depress me. He gets the whip shot. It's good. Finally. Nice, Kai. Nice, Kai. I mean, holy smokes, y'all. They peel 2 dives, and they win 2 fights. I mean, obviously, Atlanta is a really good dive team. They're doing a phenomenal job, but I'm very annoyed at, like, that we're not even making it difficult. Like, Atlanta wasn't even breaking a sweat for the first 2.5 minutes. Woo! Kevster gets a little greedy. He gets hacked. That shouldn't happen. That shouldn't happen, mate. Shouldn't get your Tracer hacked and then through Matrix killed. That's wild. Ah, Stalker! Am I the only one who is the guy that played for Atlanta Reign on Tracer? Shoot. The Tracer OTP? He wore the glasses. Whenever I see him, it reminds me. They don't look a lot alike, but the glasses remind me of him. Venom, yeah. Especially the lighting. Like I remember seeing Venom with like the blue flashing lighting like this right here. And this just reminds me so much of Venom. And Venom was like the most intense player, man. Venom was always like, you know, he was blinking with his whole body. Oh, man, I hope he's doing all right. I wonder what's happened to Venom. He was a pretty good player. All right, so Cassie trying to bait the dive. That's exactly kind of what you do. You put your Cassie in an aggressive position, try to bait the dive, you peel them off, you matrix, you pocket, you force the cooldowns. Like even there, just their recall, and then you punish them for not having cooldowns. That was pretty well executed. I mean, that's it right there. That's textbook, right? You know, you put your Cassidy or somebody who can actually pre-poke out the dive ahead of time in a vulnerable position, and then you focus on peeling him out. That was good. You went to do military service? Oh, okay. Now, I don't like GLAD's positioning here. So I know that we're chasing kills here, but really, Kevster should be on cart, and my Ana Brig Cassie should not be on the floor. This is a mistake. You have a man advantage, so the dive is a lot weaker. You should be taking the high ground right here, setting up in a position where it's actually easier to deny Ball Summer from getting the dives. Yeah. I don't know why Tracer and D.Va aren't pushing cart. And then Dante can push cart, honestly. And then, yeah, this is silly. Kai shouldn't be here. This is a classic, we're up 1, so therefore we just kind of like try to chase kills instead of take positioning, and then now a very unlosable fight feels actually losable. That, you know what's actually, that's exactly what happened on Hollywood 2nd as well. Do you guys remember that? Same thing. Same thing happened. They do the kill and don't hack, so that's good. They are a man up, I mean it matters, but this should be a lot cleaner. It was all a big brain play to force out mines and still win the fight. But unfortunately, we still have people on the cart. Lastro should be going top with Tracer. Lastro needs to turn his big fat butt around and go up this here or back up this here with Tracer. There's no reason that these guys should be allowed to get this close. No. We're not playing for cart pushing on his end. You cannot let Vigilante and Fielder take high ground from you guys. They are the fragile heroes. You should be dictating their position, not the other way around. Silly. Oh my gosh. Lastro dies on cart again. Guys, I'm really frustrated at Lastro right now. I'm not gonna lie with y'all. This is just poor. This is just poor. It's just really bad. Get off the floor, guys. Get off the... You have a D.Va and a Tracer. Get off the floor. It's the same thing that they struggle with in Hollywood. It's just terrible. And really, Babel shouldn't have been on the floor either. I don't care who to blame here, but this can't happen. Right, but then obviously Lastro is like completely like the problem is this Lastro's not even in a position to like it's not just the being on the floor, but Lastro is like married to tank. I don't get it. Like you don't need your support stacked, but you could have like Lastro up here with Tracer, right? And then have your Ana on high ground as well, like in the door frame above us. And then Lastro can pack Ana and vice versa. It's like the Ana Zen split kind of idea, right? But you're playing like with cover? Thank you so much. No, exactly. No attempt to control the map at all. Now, I get it. Like, there's a lot of open space in these open sightlines, right? But you could play around cover to where the Onizen don't get that Discord value. The way to avoid Onizen is not to sit on the cart. No. Spy checking. Oh, true. I didn't even think about the spy checking. Yeah. So, Hollywood definitely had its bad points, but overall, probably the best Overwatch that I've seen in Overwatch League this entire season, this entire program. The best Overwatch period from any team. But this has been, from really both teams, not very well executed. There's been flashes of brilliance, right, from both teams. But as a whole, not particularly impressive. Donhat goes Winston. I mean, it's not fun playing into on a brig, right? So. And actually, Winston isn't even that bad when you're running Ana's in, because like you get basically all of your Ana's resources because there's really nothing else to heal. So you just get every nano, like every pocket goes your way. This is good from Dante trying to like force Don Hack out. They try to bait Kai and they punish with nano and rally. It's a pretty decent fight plan from Gladiators. So it does cost 3 ultimates, but it's worth it to spend 3 ultimates to counter 2 ultimates plus space, right? Do you guys see that? Winston bubble has been used. We're not relying off of cooldowns, and we have an active rally. So we're able to walk forward and take high ground and take angles in space. So 2 ults plus space is 100% worth the 3 ult trade. I think this is fine from GLADS. It could have been executed a little bit better, maybe. I'm not going to go super into details there, but like probably could have been better with how our Brig Whip Shot was used, maybe Sleep Dart, maybe the High Noon wasn't necessary either. But I think I'm fine with this, and we also have some HP to play with now. And then this is the thing. Now we actually are in a position to actually peel off the dive, right? I mean, it ain't hard, guys. Like it ain't hard. I mean that's it, okay? like was Atlanta? I mean, I still think Lastro is still playing funny games with like playing with his tank. I don't like stuffing up. I mean, at least he has cover though, and at the very least we're on high ground here. It's a great sleep, but even without it, it's so much easier. Like I promise you, the reason why we don't see Sombra Tracer on this dive is because it's so much harder for these guys to actually stage on high ground when Kai, Kevster, and Babel are actually on high ground, spy checking and shooting them. Is Winston better than Ball in second? Probably, yeah. Winston's definitely better into this composition though, because Bubble actually allows you to outplay stuff. That being said, crazy sleep. I mean, it's not that hard, guys. Atlanta could have played that one a little bit better, but honestly, GLADS they just took better positions. That's it. Dante solo contests backline. This is really good from Dante. He needs to avoid losing HP though. Please get off of cart, 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 get off of cart. Okay, this is reasonable here with Diva. This I'm gonna find it, chat. Clown moves from Lastro. I don't know why he's here. I don't know why he's here. I don't know why he's here. I'm trying, guys, all right? He's just so vulnerable here. Like, if anything, we'll go here to kind of control here and maybe threaten this to force trance and play around nade better. But I just don't understand it. I don't understand why Lastro is on cart. Lastro is so vulnerable. Okay, thank you. Please. Oh, Lastro has to use his bash, so now Lastro gets split. So the problem here is, though, even though Lastro makes the positional swap, it costs him his bash, which should have been used to either punish this guy directly, right? Or to be used for defensive purposes, and now he's fallen, he's gotten booped off of high ground. Oh my days. Dante will be fine. He's gonna remech. Okay, huge. So they peel it off. Yeah, that was just good from everybody but Lastro.
Vigilante into the entirety of the Gladiators, but that was not the transcendence that the Atlanta Reign wanted.
One weakness of my analysis, y'all, if you haven't noticed it already, is I tend to like lean into one team from map to map, because it is harder to kind of like look objectively at what both teams could have done better all the time. So if you do have like a question like what Atlanta could have done better that fight, I will talk about it. Just let me know if there's like anything you really want to look at. I kind of like tend to ping pong, right? Like, oh, I'm coaching Atlanta, and I'm coaching Gladiators, I'm coaching Atlanta, I'm coaching Gladiators, which is not like objectively the best thing to do, but it's honestly kind of hard sometimes to like kind of, it's just a habit of mine. I mean, I'm gonna be honest, this EMP is too fat. Lassiter gets hit by EMP. Lassiter's on cart again. I really feel like Dante should be on cart spy checking, and Lassiter should either be with his, honestly, maybe not with Cassie, but like playing on the little barrel things here so that he could pocket either of these two targets and dodge EMP. Because honestly, an armor pack here would have probably saved Kai. Or come very close to it anyway. But honestly, 3 people get hit by EMP. That's just kind of rough. And then they were not able to spy check Lip because Lip's just a god at this hero. Now Kevster needs to be really careful because he is very vulnerable. Yeah, he's got to disengage. Okay, yeah, Dante gets killed up. Yeah, that was too fat of an EMP, considering that you had that much space to spy check it, and then again, Lassiter ends up somehow on cart. Maybe Lassiter just doesn't play Brig, y'all. But honestly, he was making positional mistakes in Zenyatta as well, so... Uh-oh.
Are they going to use those nanos defensively to stop the pulse bomb from getting value onto someone in the backline?
And now the translocator placed. Lip once again looking to organize with Stalker onto the back.
Oh my gosh. This guy is just getting exposed. So they hack Babel. So he packs Babel, but he's not able to whip shot the dive, and he just gets turbo stomped. They're actually just abusing Lastro, and he has rally as well. Honestly, they hack the Ana and then turn their attention on the Brig. It's just good. It's pretty darn good dive from Atlanta Reign, and I want to give a lot of credit to Lip. I think Lip has been the kind of impetus for a lot of these really good dives in terms of who he's hacking, when he's hacking, setting this stuff up. It's pretty darn good. It's definitely punishing Last. Oh my, Lastro dies again. No, Lastro. I mean, to be honest, he just gets rolled. It's not even a huge mistake from him, but bro, Lastro is getting like actually toasted. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Lip. Let's put it this way. Lastro is trolling the lobby sometimes, but Lastro is also playing versus Stalker and Lip and Dawnhack a ball especially. It's just child abuse at this point. It is. There, he just beat. It's just not even close. Now the rally is huge. Rally is just a phenomenally powerful ultimate support. So they are able to at least stall long enough from there. They need to disengage. There's a trance. It's a good trance. They get a nade. It's a good nade. Will they get Kai? That forces their nade. Can Dawnhack get out? Dawnhack doesn't get out. Dawnhack dies. Oh, chat, this is going to be wild. Is it just Kai? I don't think they win this. What happens? What happens? Let's find out. Whatever happens here, I think this is it's the death. Is it just Kevster, chat?
Absolutely flawless coordination is a gullet, you could say, as they are absolutely.
Where is Fielder?
The synergy, the timing, and the absolutely flawless coordination is allowing onto the back. And now the
I don't even know where Fielder is.
placed. Lip once again looking to organize with Stalker onto the back, going in for Lastro. Gets instantly shut down in the kill feed. You can see all three working in tandem.
It's just Kevster, guys. It's just Kevster. I think it's just Kevster. Kevster pulse bombs Zen. Dante miraculously doesn't get demacked. Survives long enough to get Nano. Kevster literally just solo kills backline. The Primal's forced early. Lip is killing backline. But unfortunately, Gladiators have a slight respawn advantage. Very slight. Primal gets wasted. They're able to survive long enough. They do kill Dante, but it takes them a long time. Rally is better than EMP. Unless you get a Discord, and they don't. And does Lasso dodge EMP? No, he doesn't. But they don't, yeah, the EMP into Rally was probably not the best choice, but they were thinking, oh, like the problem with the EMP is that it doesn't match Dawn Hack's cycle. They don't have nade for this, or the nade is missed, I'm not sure which. And Dawn Hack doesn't have the HP to push with it. So that needed to be timed better. So as a compliment Lip, he does make a pretty crucial error. Honestly, guys, it's just Kevster. A lot of it is just Kevster. And that's a huge pulse bomb on Dawn Hack, and that will force trance. It's a big nade. They don't get the follow-up as necessary. Dawn Hack goes in deep to follow, doesn't get the kill, now he's dead. They force it again. Kevster just kills Vigilante, who... Vigilante should... So Vigilante kind of trolls. He should not have been on cart. They should have given up more space. So Kevster just goes in and just cleans it up. So it's Kevster. It's Kevster, and Lip forcing EMP into Rally. When his Winston and Ana weren't able to follow up. So whatever happened there. Yeah. Wow. Wow. An owl viewer would be really cool right now. Yeah, G chat. If only we could actually see what had happened. Jeez. All right, map 3. Are these 2 push maps in a row? Yeah, no cough. Okay. Any questions so far, y'all? Pretty interesting series so far. Pretty interesting series. What do you think about Dawn Hack? I played all right. I mean, obviously, it wasn't as comfortable on the Winston, but some of the ball rollouts were really. I think some stuff from. I mean, it's hard for me to say because without POVs, I would need to study a Dawn Hack POV for a long period of time to really give you a firm opinion. But from what I have seen, he is playing well enough. Thoughts on Dante's Sig? Should GLADS pick up a Sig player? Not sure. Honestly, we didn't see enough of Sig. Like, again, it's really hard for me to say anything about Sig because I wasn't able to watch Dante's POV. There are some things that we can draw, like Lastro is mispositioned, Kevster's popping off, Lip Sombra looks really good, as usual, big surprise. Stalker's Tracer looks reasonable as well. But there's other things that are honestly impossible to read because I don't have POVs. Should Stalker mark Kevster, but I feel like that's hindering? No, I think it was fine. I think it was fine. You shouldn't lose to a Tracer as an Ana Zen duo solo. If you do, the person's just better than you are. Why is Atlanta not playing Hawk? Because they wanted to play ball. I mean, it means that you lose access to Diva, but they've clearly valued the ball swap more than they did the Diva swap. Yep. So, okay, let's take a look here. Sombra on push is going to be fun. That's not something that we've really seen much of.
And they play it so well. Yeah, he does it so well. And the
So-
thing that I love about Dante specifically,
It's really, really simple, guys. It's really, really simple. So, how does
watch what he's
Atlanta Reign win? How does Atlanta Reign win? What are you looking for? No. Cass is rip in peace. I almost promise you, Cass is rip in peace. HP nerf and the sticky nerf is massive. Massive. What do you guys think? How does Atlanta win? Ran around the ram and then clean up ram after you dive. Yeah, pretty much. You try to avoid the Ramatra. It's kind of like the Sigma thing where you want to avoid Sigma unless those Sigma is super isolated, then you can hack and punish him. You do have the Ana and you have the Summer, so Ramatra is killable, but not an immediate priority target. Set up for dives in the Ana, catch Lucio out. Don't let them run down Fielder and dive fast. Fielder should never be run down by this comp. I'm going to be honest with y'all. If Fielder gets run down with Sleep Dart and a high ground rollout, it's on him. To me, it's all about setting up this guy in the backline, Shocker, right? And trying to find out which of these heroes, and I'm going to include Tracer, are more isolated and killable. I mean, really all of these targets are killable targets, so which one is playing too aggressive on an off angle, which one of them is isolated, and then let's try and prioritize in killing that target. Now, while that's happening, Dante will be able to kind of zone backline or pressure out backline. With shield spam and so on. So Fielder and Chio need to play in a position in a way to where they can kind of protect themselves from Dante running them over. But honestly, you might even see Chio going with Diver sometimes because Ramatra isn't fast enough to actually be able to punish Fielder unless he makes a massive mistake. Now, from Gladiator's perspective, it's just going to be mostly about the same stuff that we talked about really on Ilios, where Kai will probably take something of an off angle, try to bait the dive, peel and pocket Kai, but they need to get some form of pressure on these guys early and often. You guys know the routine. There's nothing crazy here. But the nice thing here is that Dante is also joining them in that thing because with his shield and his range spam, and even his E, right, he can actually get pretty good range pressure on this. Now, I don't think Ramatra is very good versus dive. I do think it can be a little bit of a mismatch, but maybe it's something that they've been able to work out because this map is fairly flat. So it's hard, and it's also fairly open. So having a hero that can kind of get some sort of range pressure like a Sigma, but is not as fragile as a Sigma, might be something that's actually fairly useful. So for GLADS, it's all about shooting the front line, shooting the divers as much as you can. For Atlanta Reign, it's everything but that. Killing backline worked on Houston because he didn't have Lucio, right? I didn't see the Houston match, but yeah, that's probably one of the reasons why. Yeah.
To make his life absolutely
Ram can disrupt Monkey with Vortex, right? So it's like the Vortex, and that's really the only thing that you bring to the table here. That and pre-poke on Winston. So I want Dante playing pretty aggressively around cover, like exactly what he's doing right now, like early damage, just as much damage as possible. And damage. He messes up his shield there. That one's huge. So he messes up the shield to block the Ana value. So that shield needs to be in front of Fielder. I don't think it necessarily needs to block Fielder. He could have even put it here if he wanted to, just to prevent the Ana sleep, nade, and the jump follow-up. So they're going to jump in now. I assume there was a hack on backline. You can see it there. The E doesn't quite hit. And the Vortex early there is to basically slow the Winston from following up on the dive and making it easier to hit shots on him. It's not going to force it. Obviously, he doesn't have jump, so he's not going to jump. He jumped in. He's not going to be stopped from jumping out. But I think it's pretty reasonable. Now, what is interesting to me is the Nemesis form. This must be something that Dante has practiced and realized that it's actually more impactful to punch through bubble and force cooldowns like that. Maybe it's like, you know, you can actually force I mean, it's probably used because you can punch through bubble and force like Tracer recall. But yeah, the shield was bad though. And they get the hack on Kai. I don't know where the Ana pocket is. I don't know where my Lucio is. I don't know where Kevster is. Like Kevster really needs to be here, not over here. I mean, Kevster needs to be trying to face tank this kind of stuff as much as possibly can. I do think sometimes Kevster gets kind of caught up thinking for his own angle rather than trying to like control space for his team sometimes. And I know like I'm criticizing the god himself, but I don't know. It looked like he was not in a good position to proactively mark the Tracer Sombra. It's hard for me to say without replay view, but that's what it looked like.
And at this point, it didn't gain anything, and Rain takes this first fight.
And Rain are gonna have to continue to do this, where they're gonna have to go like very fast, because one of the things you don't want to do against this composition, as
There's the Winston swap. Winston swap is reasonable.
You want to like stand on ceremony with Ramacho, right? You want to keep going. You want to be a little bit more aggressive. Now when we're in neutral, it's gonna be a different story. Kai is still not on the Hanzo. He is still gonna be sticking on that Cassidy. So
Cassidy's better here just because the sightlines aren't quite as long, and just because like you can't predict that a long sightline's going to happen, so the stuff is going to be constantly moving. So when you're constantly moving and you're not allowed to set your feet, having a little less fragility is more valuable, which is why Cassidy is good. A little less fragile, at least at that point in time.
but you don't have that recon
Oh, nice.
survivability and brawl potential, but you don't have that.
What is Kai doing? Kai is...
A little bit more of that.
So Kai is doing something. Kai just needs to peek here and shoot Monkey. Like, this is actually a perfect angle to burn Dawnhack's HP, but they don't do it. They just kind of jump out into the open here. I don't understand. And then obviously, like, this is just like, I don't know.
Don't have that recon
I don't even, where even is Ana? Oh, Ana's here. Yeah, Dante getting booped there does suck. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. This should be pretty much it. To be honest, there's no damage, there's no follow-up. Dante gets booped. Kai gets caught in rotation doing something. I don't even know what he was doing there, but yeah.
It's only going to get worse too, Rich, because EMP is available, Pulse Bomb is available, Nano too. I mean, there's really no way for Gladiators to...
Brig is weird.
come out of this unscathed.
Brig is... I'm very tilted. The Summer Tracer are ruining our day. That's what Brig is. Because the value of Brig is... obviously is the ability to kind of like force... Actually, no, it's about the same as Tracer Sombra. Honestly, it's just the armor pack. It's just the armor pack. The instant 25 heal for dealing with Sombra hack. Yeah, I agree, Revo Reverse. I don't agree with this, especially on push. Like, the fights happen too fast on push. Does Atlanta lose this? Or win this, excuse me? Hey, Barry.
For the Walter White cosplay, are you planning on shaving?
No, I'll be good. If the Walter White cosplay wins, I'd probably wear like a skin cap or something. Yes, Atlanta win. Yeah, this is a really bad start. Again, Kai is just... like, what Kai is doing, in theory, is correct. Where you get your Cassie on an angle and you're trying to pre-pressure out the dive. The problem is twofold here. Where he is, he doesn't have a particularly good angle on Stalker or Dawnhack, okay? Somebody shoots Stalker on Cart. No, it's the enemy Tracer, right? So it's not even him, okay? But the problem is that, in theory, this angle doesn't have very good control over Winston Tracer. And it's also, he's just standing out in the open. So you guys coach Kai. Where should Kai be positioned right now? Where should Kai be positioned? Over there? That's helpful. I honestly think just here. I think if Kai's position here, I think it's significantly better. It's the same angle, just more covered, easier to dodge EMP, a lot harder for Lip to get what he wants to get done. Yo, cheers, Souls. I appreciate it, mate. It's just not a very good angle. That's all it is. Way too easy to isolate. Yeah. It's a really good trade. Kevster is like... yeah, so Kevster is really, really good at these mid-fight trades, though. That's a huge, huge, huge trade. That's a huge, huge, huge stick. Oh my gosh, chat. Like, honestly, like, this should be it, really. Yo, 2Quack, thanks so much for the sub. So Lip is out. Chio gets caught with his pants down. Dawnhack gets pulsed. So Kevster kills Chio, and Kevster essentially kills Dawnhack. And then Kevster also kills Silder.
Make some space. The pulse bomb
I just don't know, man.
Still Gladiators able to deny
This guy's just stupid. So dumb. Now, I will say, at least they forced EMP and Bubble for a death. So they were down a lot of cooldowns here. Hey, you are.
reached.
And I think this is a little bit of Atlanta Rain, like, downloading Kai slightly. Like, it's not really his...
Yeah, I mean, really, Chio shouldn't die there. Like, really, truly, Chio shouldn't die there. I'm not sure what the cooldowns look like for my support lineup. And honestly, it should Don Hack if he hadn't gotten hit by Pulse Bomb. He didn't get stuck by it. But yeah, I mean, it's a bit silly, ain't it? You know?
The survivability that Cassidy sometimes has, when you have like 5 people diving on you, it's just impossible, and that's really what Atlanta sometimes has. When you have like 5 people diving on you, it's just impossible.
I think Kai is mispositioned again. Like, again, it feels like they're just... It's crazy to me that we're like talking about cover usage at this level, but like, it is way too easy how often these hacks dives are going off of, and how little like marking and like maybe they're just not ready for it, but like, man, this cover usage, corner usage versus this comp is like really not good from GLADS. It's like fundamentals here are not really hitting it right now.
Like, keep the pedal to the metal, right? You have
Kai is supposed to bait hacks, but Kai is actually supposed to play in a position where he could bait hacks and survive. The problem is that Kai, and even to an extent Babel that fight, are playing in positions where they bait hacks and die to hacks, just because they're not close enough to cover, or they're just a little bit too far out in the open.
60 meters ahead. There's still 7 minutes.
Like, there's so much more time that you can burn, and remember, you might die, but the longer Kai lives, the more damage he does, right? Compost, thanks for the sub, mate. Thank you so much for the subs, all. I really appreciate it. Yeah, it's like the theory is good, but the execution from GLADS has been very bad.
Play this in the macro way that we know, they're gonna have no problem. It's about Gladiators now getting
Like, Kai can't. Oh, Kai can't be here. Kai can't be here. Kai can't be here.
than they have been in the past, where it's just Atlanta setting up
Like, I
and instantly die.
Again, Lip communicating, waiting for the
and there it is again. Like Babel's going to die. I don't understand this, guys. Come on, guys. Come on. We're Grandmaster. We're Overwatch League, y'all. Like, surely, like, this has to be better. Like, this, you have the exact same sightlines. The exact same sightlines. From a better position with more cover. No way this is where we want to be. No way. And GLADS are throwing this match. Oh my days. This is just horrible. It's just horrible. It's just terrible. Chio dies again? What is Chio dying to, mate? What is Chio dying to? Oh, Chio's going in with a dive, and it looks like he tries to duel Kai, but Kai just ruins his day. I can't see it because, you know, replay viewer, funny. Yeah, guys, like, this is just tragic, y'all. Like, okay. Yeah, I don't know, mate. That's just, it's just really shameful. Come on, y'all. Better than that. The theory is there, but the execution is just atrocious. Like, you can't have your Cassidy playing like a coward, but for crying out loud, I don't understand it. It would make it so much easier to spy check, too, when they're not playing here. You can't spy check Lip when you're here. You can spy check Lip when you're here. You can have your Brig spy checking this back corner here, right? Your Tracer could be spraying and praying this entire area. It's just terrible. Does Al restrict VODs the same as Pro-Am? I have no idea.
As he has in the previous series, right? Because Donghak is now on the Winston, and I think they realized that, like, with the Winston, I can play a little bit.
Okay, what's going on here? It's pretty ambitious from Dante here. Pretty deep dive. I'm a little concerned.
Trying to create some space for his team. Nano available from Babel, but EMP available from Lip.
We're learning. We're learning. Well, we we're learning. It only took, you know what, 4 fights in a row. I mean, I don't know where Donhack is, but just like actually, like, look at how much better their positioning was. Look at how much better. Now Kai is late from spawn, but like, look at how much better this cover usage is. I mean, holy cow. That was not a good EMP, but yeah. Do I have any places learning good habits for Primal? Asking for a monkey? Mr. Grinch Pants. Honestly, chat, do you guys have any Primal Rage codes? I don't know any off the top of my head. Kai's in a better spot because he did have a chance to run into the open. Right.
Yeah, that's a rare occasion where I think think the dive from Atlanta Rain wasn't as crispy as
Oh.
it's actually. And they have a nano.
Yep, they just feeling real good right neutral. Just go back to your spawn, and we're gonna now run it back. But again, Rain goes right to neutral.
Yeah, that's a rare occasion where I think the dive.
The funny thing here, guys, is once again, GLAD's backline position is like super sussy baka. Okay? And it actually, now this is phenomenally played mechanically, right? There's the nade, there's a sleep dart. Where's Donhack? Oh, Donhack messes this one up badly. He doesn't have nano yet, or doesn't have jump yet, so he has to bubble early, so he can't punish Babel. So I'm sitting here thinking, like, how is this working? How is this working? Well, two things. First off, Donhack doesn't have jump. Second thing, this does force a nano in response. Third thing, Lip's not even there. Lip's not even there. So look at the sweat dripping off of Gladiator's brow right now. And they only win because Donhack messed up. Or I guess Fielder messed up with Donhack. And they did it without even Lip being there. That's wild.
Gladiators there. I mean, Babel finally gets that sleep and it is able to, if he can continuously, they're sending in Chio, getting some of their own progression. They have a
good setup from GLADS.
Not close towards that EMP. Atlanta Rain don't really have any ultimates to work with, so it's just about finding where Atlanta Rain
good setup from Atlanta. Putting emphasis on Dante. Now, here's what you guys will notice. GLADS don't have an angle on undercart. You guys see that? So you can actually take an angle here and start shooting out Dante and or C9ing cart without actually having to dive high ground. Because it's going to be really hard to dive high ground with an on a brig Cassidy set up on high. It's going to be really hard when you're this far away. So they just go to cart. Now I want to see how Chio dies. Oh, Chio has had a bad map so far. Bad map. Not a good map at all. Because they can hack Dante and shoot Dante. If anything, Chio should be playing with Fielder still, rotating up to top here, sitting here, or even rotating to cart. This is silly. Chio is trolling. If that happens, where does Dante stabilize? Dante can't stabilize. Like, if Summer tries to come underneath and shoot Dante, Dante has to jump high ground. Which then allows Ana Lucio to be more comfortable about rotating out. And then what they can do is they go 3, 2, 1, Winston, Tracer jump top, Ana Lucio rotate and dive top, and then there you go. There's your dive. So Chio's actively trolling the lobby. That's a huge nade from Fielder from downtown, but I don't know if it's going to be enough. Good peel by Funny Astra. Even though he doesn't get the boop on the monkey, forcing the Tracer out is almost as valuable. Did Kai just shoot him in the butt cheeks for a headshot? No, he didn't. He actually headshot him. Okay.
The way Kai is playing right now, you simply are not allowed
She was throwing the lobby.
Or else he will take your head off, and that's exactly what happens.
All right. Now GLADS are about to hit their support ult cycle, and outside of like EMP plus nade, support cycle is tight as all get out. Nano rally. Well, not just the hit scan, the Ana as well. Like Babel would. I mean, it's kind of weird, honestly.
Coming up against an onslaught of ultimates, especially
yeah, now here's what's going to happen, ladies and gentlemen, if you're the Atlanta Rain. Nothing. You have the lead. You don't have really any impactful ultimates. Just yet, anyway. Nothing. Make these idiots jump off the high ground. What are you going to do? There's the pressure on Dante, and then he's up, right? Wait, don't hack.
throughout this.
Oh, Kevster. I just hate Kevster. Wait, who? Wait, what? Oh, did Kevster? The Darnhack not? Darnhack takes too much poke. Oh, it was the other pulls. Okay. This focus on Monkey is fine, honestly. The problem here is this Darnhack takes too much damage. And Fielder... Yeah, see, they set up a flank. Darnhack takes too much damage. This is just poorly timed from Atlanta. You guys can actually see it right now. Look at the... Fielder goes for a flank nade. Darnhack peeks, loses his entire armor before he even dives. Then they go for the pulse. They miss the pulse. They hit the Annie. Dante lives with 1 HP essentially, and Darnhack dies. I actually think it was a pretty reasonable play from Atlanta. It was just really poorly executed. Would we call this series a coaching gap? No. I don't know how you can look at any of this and decide for sure that it was a coaching gap. I don't know how you look at any game, period, and say it's a coaching gap. Coaching gap is if you've worked with the team for 1 or 2 seasons and the team has made 0 improvements despite having a roster that should have performed well enough. You don't, you know, I'm telling you, like, players play. It's not even like normal sports where you can like call plays and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And it's not even like normal sports where you can work with a roster sometimes for a couple of seasons. You have no idea. You don't know the. I'll put it this way: you will have no idea the quality of a coach unless you've actually worked with a coach. I mean, Vegas. I wouldn't say it's necessarily a coaching problem. I mean, I think Vegas. Like, you talking about like Vegas right now or what? Because Empress has been with Vegas. I mean, honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you. Vegas just isn't a very good team. Like, they just don't have very good players. I mean, could it be a lack of coaching as well? Maybe. But that team has also been pretty mediocre for a long time, so I don't know. Is buying NFTs from Gator working with him? So Gladiators are like, hey, let's go, massive advantage, let's push. But obviously they've used a lot of cooldowns. They've given up positioning, and Babel dies, and they bait Rally. Honestly, EMP for Rally is not even a bad trade for Atlanta Reign. And you get the kill, which means you're going to be able to stop cart before they take lead. Vegas is... There are contenders teams that are probably better than Vegas. At least in some positions. And that's not even a hot take. And I hope that those players perform better, because they definitely have the potential for it. Yeah. Can they stop lead? Oh my gosh. So really actually a pretty tight play from Lip. Oh, Chio is just getting... Kevster is just... It's crazy, guys. Like, I thought people were joking when I read the comments about this game. Kevster is just killing people. How does Babel die? Because Babel dropped from high ground, I promise you. Watch. They get a kill, they think, oh, we're up, let's push. But then they just walk right here. Another flank nade, EMP, all traded. It's a pretty smart play from Lit, I'm not gonna lie. And it forces the support ult. Very nice. And really, Atlanta Reign should be able to peel this one off. And not only peel this one off, but you should be able to easily kite this one off, and you forced Rally, and you forced High Noon, and maybe you still get a recontest. The problem here, of course, is we failed to factor for this. I mean, look at Dante. Look at Kai. Funny Astro dies too. Atlanta Reign just gets 2v1. And Chio even has beat here. That's it. Atlanta Reign's in a great spot here.
Still just 3 meters to go. And oh wow, it is just this back and forth, but all the while they're on the front line, there's still contention. Lip has been completely away from this fight, but stole the bot.
He stole the bot, so now there's no way, they don't have the lead anymore, so now Atlanta Reign get this reset before the bot can touch. It's 1 meter.
Oh, that's huge. Respawn advantage, really. Respawn advantage.
Oh my god.
It is literally 1.01 meters.
God. It is a play.
Now, if you're Atlanta now, we're thinking about parking it again, but I don't think you need to park it again. I think you still have people coming back from spawn, and now you actually have 1, 2, 3 ultimates to actually work with into a nano. I think it's probably worth pushing here. Hey, Gusty.
1.01 meters. That could be a
That's a whip shot from Astro, I think, that happened. I don't think you see it on screen, but I'm pretty sure it's a whip shot from Astro. That is really, really big, actually, because if that whip shot doesn't hit, you probably see a nano. Oh, that's a big nade, actually, from Babel. Did he say Babel? Is that how you pronounce it? No way, that's how you pronounce it. Oh, Dante should not be getting away with this. It's a good primal from Dante. We get both cooldowns out and beat. That's also a really, really good primal. Look at that. That's a great primal. Hang on. It's a great primal from Dante. I feel like it's probably more of a misplay from Fielder there to miss that sleep dart, but, you know, this is best case scenario, right? Forcing all these cooldowns. There's the nano on Cassidy. Fielder gets crushed. I don't know what happens to Astro. I assume manual hack. Maybe not. Maybe not even. I honestly, it's impossible to see what's going on here, guys. I apologize, but I honestly have no idea what happened. Oh my gosh, Lip. Oh, this could go either way. That's a huge recall force. It's going to force Kev out. The funny thing is that manual hack from Lip is literally like 10 HP. And the manual hack forces recall when actually Lip is in zero business to actually even ego that at all. And so it forces Kevster's recall when Kevster literally could have killed both of them and taken the lead. No. Stop scratching. Thank you. That was a great play from Lip. I enjoy watching Lip play Sombra. I enjoy. There's all these little micro plays that he makes, you know. That's just really enjoyable to watch. Now, if you're Atlanta, I think you need to play Park It again. I don't think that you can actually... You don't have any ults. You don't have any space. I think you just play Park It. Oh, we should have stuck that one. He might die. He might die. Oh, oh, oh. Yeah, he dies. He dies. He goes in for the aggressive play. It's okay timed. Could have been timed a little bit better. It does... It also costs him a lot of blinks as well. I think that's the big thing for me here. Is it's like, look at the... He's a little bit of a rush. There's 2 blinks to get set up the pulse instead of 1. And so then he also uses the last blink to avoid the pulse. He really should have been able to have like 1.5 blinks here instead of 0.5, which would have allowed him to move back in towards cover, which would have prevented him from getting his recall forced. So it's a little bit of a cooldown mismanagement from Kev. I mean, we'll forgive him considering how hard he's deadlifted so many fights, but yeah. So even the best makes mistakes. But this is exactly what we wanted Atlanta Rain to do. Don't force anything. Play to mark angles. I was going to say we might see a rally here, because Kevster will be back soon, and obviously like they have used a lot of cooldowns. Great disengage from Atlanta. Oh, that kill needs to happen. That kill needs to happen, guys. There's a huge hack on Dante. Lip is just a monster. But honestly, that from Kai has to hit. Like that has to hit. That has to hit. Kai, the funny thing is Kevster and Kai just back-to-back through fights. Meanwhile, Lip is just... Daddy Lip is, you know, doing his things. Wow. That's actually crazy, yo. What a turnaround from the earlier thing where it was like GLADS are like actively trolling the lobby every single fight, and now it's like getting kind of interesting. Manual hack forces the manual nano, so they're out of commission, so now we focus on Winston behind us. You could also focus on Tracer as well. There's the C9 and cart as well, which is really, really nice. They don't even get the Primal Rage off, though. But overall, this is going to favor Atlanta, because you get the essentially reset the cart, and then the rest of Atlanta is going to be able to reset quickly. Oh, Ana Lucio, I do not agree with that rotation from Ana Lucio. Better team punishes this rotation. They might actually still punish this rotation. The beat's there in time, and there it is. It just feels like Lip is just like leading the orchestra, honestly. It really just feels like Lip is just like masterminding everything going on right now, constantly. I've not been impressed with how a lot of Atlanta is playing. I think Stalker's playing pretty well, but it just feels like Lip is just like the conductor and just he's just composing this masterpiece.
Available to them.
Yeah, Kai needs to hit Vaxa, yeah.
Available for both of these players. Kevster and Stalker do keeping it out, but the bot will be back in the favor of the Los Angeles Gladiators.
Now, Atlanta, once again, really doesn't need to force anything here. You just need to kind of sit on the high and dare, like, punish. They missed the nade on the Winston, which is pretty big, but you just need to go, like, oh, there you go, Astro. There you go, Astro. Whoops. Good boot from Chio there. There's the manual hack. Astro gets isolated. They go in with Harden with a Primal Rage. So do you notice when they go aggressively? When do they go aggressively? Dante fills a jump. Then Lip goes, I've got an angle. Let's go. Hack has Primal. Let's go. That's good. You deny the high ground dive because you have your Lucio on high? That's really good. No way. Wait, what? Kevster. Of course it's Kevster. Bonnie Astro should die instantly.
Astro's back on the point. He's trying to get. Yeah, but you still have Stalker pushing the bot so they can recover. Astro's back on.
Oh, Fielder just rolls him. Okay. Atlanta Reign played pretty well. I think Atlanta Reign's backline's kind of not playing particularly well. I don't think Fielder or Chio are playing this one particularly well, but Lip is just out of this world, and I do think Stalker is playing quite well as well. Hack is not actively trolling the lobby most of the time. I'm displeased with the positioning from Kai and Babel the vast majority of the start of that half. It got a little bit better towards the end, but it was actually pretty poor. But yeah, any questions, y'all? Will I react to Boston, Toronto? Probably not, because basically this is going to be my last Al analysis. I'm going to be taking next week off because I haven't had a week off since August. Even Christmas, it was like that was supposed to be my week off after Christmas, but I ended up getting deathly ill, and that was not fun. Yeah, and then by the time I come back, Al will be starting soon. They swap back to Loser Brig, probably for a recontest, honestly. Which Astros Brig do you prefer? What? I'm not sure I understand. Yeah, sorry, mates. What should you do as a tank against Nano Monkey? Prevent follow-up from the rest of your team. There's not a lot of any tank can do versus Nano Monkey. You just need to prevent follow-up from the rest of his team. Oh, Funny Astro. Oh, Astro. Oh. I mean, Funny Astro was... I mean, honestly, it's just one map. Who knows? But Funny Astro, I mean, obviously looked better on it. So, I mean, from my limited potential. All right, I'm going to tinkle. Before we do the last map, I'm going to run a 30-second ad. And then I will be back, because I have been drinking a lot of tea. Be right back. Okay, like I said, sorry for the delay. I had to blow my nose a few more times. I'm almost over this cold. Almost. But not quite. Who do you think is the best player in the lobby? I mean, I don't know. Lip or Kevster, honestly. It's kind of hard. It's always hard to see like support impact as well from replay viewer. Even tank to an extent, it's hard to see. So I don't know. From what I saw, it looked like Astro was playing okay, but it's hard to say. All right, final map. Let's roll. This ought to be juicy. Oasis leaves a lot of room for compositional choices. I imagine City Center would probably see mostly dive, but there's a lot of variety, potential variety on University and Garden. So, hey, congrats, mate. Cheers. I really appreciate the kind words. Good work. Good work. That's on you, mate. Like I said, it's always on you. You put in the work, you improve. Nice job. Glad I was able to help a little bit, though. Close range map. Cassidy May, Ramatra, and Bat. Not really big surprise there. Yeah, I guess we'll see. We'll see. Okay, Gladiators need to try and set up off angles and set up dives on the backline. With Kai kind of taking an off angle of his own. Generally, priority target is going to be either Lip or Fielder. Fielder is definitely the more fragile of the heroes, depending on the situation. But it could depend. Maybe Lip's taking a more aggressive angle, so we prioritize Lip. So yeah, I mean, you guys are going to notice pretty common themes coming up over and over and over again. It's like playing with the range of your composition, right? So Gladiators have some range with Cassidy and Ana, but when you're talking about Cass and May and Ramatra and Bap, there's just going to be more poke damage from Atlanta range. So basically, Atlanta wants to try and take soft off angles where they can try and pre-pressure out the dive, which is why they're rolling out high ground. Because if they can get control of high ground, this is going to allow for more powerful positions for heroes like these. And then what they can do is they can drop the cart from there. Now, they can't stay high ground because somebody at some point has to contest cart, or point, excuse me, and they might have to rotate here or here. But I think this compositional choices from both of the teams is pretty reasonable. The Brig is a little bit of a problem potentially because it does leave, you wouldn't do this immediately, but especially like, let's say Dante doesn't have his cooldowns or Kevster doesn't have his cooldowns, it does lead your backline to being able to be run over. You will generally not see Atlanta just run down Gladiator's backline because then you're going to lose your backline to Winston Bubble and Tracer Flank. But if, like, let's say they force Dante makes a mistake, Kevster makes a mistake or whatever, or maybe they have like a beat, you couldn't run over an Ana Brick because there's no speed. Brick herself is fragile, and she also is not able to help her on out as much. Why would GLADS not roll out high ground too? Well, could be the threat of ball. That makes them hesitant there. A lot of the concern is a lot of like boop threats. So they don't know the composition that they're all out on. Whereas Rain is more confident versus the composition that whatever GLADS roll out on, a Maywall plus Lucio, we're going to get there first, and we're going to win the wall. We're going to win the trade here. You also have to notice that they're not on Lucio there, so they can't get there as fast. So even if they rolled out, like, let's say a mirror comp, or with a Lucio, right? A Maywall right here, this is pretty messy for GLADS to win, right? GLADS need to kind of spread the map out before they assassinate here. So you're going to already notice that Maze, Cassidy's, Baps, they're all going to start taking these little angles. Ramatra early pressure on. So they're all stacked now, but it's only a matter of time before they start to take soft angles. Kai is trying to take soft angles. They're going to rotate back to main. Now they're actually stacking more than I thought they would be. There's the split. So they have a late split so that Tracer doesn't scout. Gets marked, we go back to the team. Now this is pretty cool. So what Lip does is Lip just makes sure that nobody takes this flank here. He doesn't even use it. He just clears it. So then they go back. They wall off this angle here, which Lip was already, to be fair, was already controlling, and then just put poke damage on Dante. And because GLAD's backline is here, Dante isn't able to do anything. Yeah, Dante gets cleared pretty early, so that's not great for GLADS. Now, my question is, did Oop, 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 oop. Did Dante use bubble? Huge boop from Chio. Lamp is there as well. This is the window for them to push, though. Honestly, guys, this is pretty darn good from GLADS. I'm not going to lie to you. They lost a lot of space early. Dante immediately goes, oh, shoot, I've got bubble. I'm out, right? Then we have these guys peeking aggressively to make sure that Dante doesn't get punished. Watch this execution from GLADS. Then Dante says, I've got bubble or nade or whatever. And then Dante jumps in off of the nade. At the same time, though, they don't just push. They push on the angle. Do you guys see Kevster at the bottom of your screen? And Kai in the bottom of your screen? So basically now, if you were to draw the map for, let's give GLADS pink here. GLADS have this part of the map. Like this. And what that means is that Lip is out in the open and doesn't have good cover because he starts to try to push. Donghak is zoning backline, to be fair. But the difference between Lip and Stalker and Kevster and Kai is that these boys are on the flank, which means that they have much easier access to the enemy squishies. Barry, probably yes. Probably, or at least this corner here. I also think that Stalker should not be where he was. So I don't like Stalker's position either. I would like probably Stalker or Lip controlling this angle here and then looking for wall pressure here. That way that you don't have to worry about this right here. And then you can have, honestly, Lip here, I think, Fielder here, I think maybe Chio playing here, and then Stalker playing here, maybe even pushing up to like this corner here and poking, with Ram holding the choke, probably the best thing there. Because they lose to the flank. They play really well around the nade plus bubble timing, and even though Chio gets the boop, the off angle wins it, the flank wins it. I mean, you guys see that, right? Very rarely in dive do you have the Winston landing on the target as the kill. It's often the threat of that, right? I mean, look at how much more map control they have. And Donghak has to eventually back up because his support LOS is completely zoned off. So credit goes to Lastro and Babel. They do a good job completely denying Donghak. I think so too. And I think that's why, and you're going to see Stalker swap off. I don't think May is bad here. I think you can actually do really good work versus Cassidy on a Brick and Tracer, especially if you can land your right clicks. The wall doesn't need to be walling off on backline. You can wall off their Winston from an off angle, or wall off their backline from an off angle while you focus Winston from the off angle. I just don't think that Stalker knew how to play it. I think the majority of my issues come from Stalker's positioning in particular, and I think to a lesser extent Lip.
Going to be here from Kevster.
But the fact that you guys are asking that question, Barry, is exactly the right question to ask. And now you have your Cassie in the high ground. This is silly. Atlanta can't win this high ground jump. Atlanta can't win this high ground jump. They're already pre-set up. You don't even have Maywall. This isn't going to work. Yeah. I didn't even need to see the fight to know that wasn't going to work. That's just insanity. Walking through a choke like that, brutal, without having any sort of a cut or distraction, it's insanity. So what Atlanta really have to do is kind of rotate towards this / this direction and try to somehow leverage point with like shield plus Ramantra, and then try to have like Lip hold an off angle to shoot the Winston on point. Like, you can't dislodge them on high ground. You can't. I mean, really, it's really hard to dislodge anybody on high ground once they're already on it, right? You have to kind of play around point. Let me try and get a better like vision. Okay, this is actually perfect. So you can't dislodge them on high ground. So what you do is you rotate to here, and then you put your DPS on either one of these bottom positions. You guys can see right here. Either one of these angles, and then pressure point from like here-ish or here-ish where there's a little bit of cover. Right? And then what happens is when they can drop and contest, your DPS have just as good angles on their contesting person as the people on high ground do. Now the problem is obviously this is more dangerous than this, but in terms of offensive pressure, it doesn't really matter. They're both equally good. So you can get point pressure if you're Atlanta, and then take one of these positions with like Lip or Fielder to try and contest. Probably Lip. But you can't even do it from here either because there's just a stalemate, but they've got better positions. So you actually have to rotate your DPS around to deny them. Because the other problem is if you're all in here, then Dante can just sit like here and stall point. But then if you rotate your DPS here, this little blocky thing here isn't cover. So that's probably what Atlanta's gonna do. Is they're probably gonna start to push somebody on point while somebody takes an off angle also. I mean that's they really mistimed this one. Like really. This is way too early from Lip. Lip is split way too early, way too obvious. He knows it too. That's really poor from Atlanta. And it's a fat nade and nano. So if you were to do a flank like this, you would go 3-2-1, Ram, Lucio here, and then late have Lip peek here. And honestly, Lip really should not even be going to here. There's nothing that this window provides that this doesn't already provide in terms of LOS. So this is just trolling from Atlanta. These flanks are way too deep, and also Lip goes on the flank before Ramattra even walks through the choke. So it's everybody puts attention on him because there's nothing else to even look at. Bad timing of the flank. The later the flank, the greedier the flank. The greedier the flank, the later the flank needs to be. Poor execution from Atlanta. Great execution from GLADS.
They know exactly their focus. They have their number, and they are dialing over and over again.
I mean, they focus. Lip is currently 0-0-3, and it's not like his fault or anything. It's just that the dive is immaculate.
The Ana for the Winston is fine. I think Bap is just troll. And I think Ramattra has a little bit more survivability than a Reinhardt does, so he can do a little bit. Well, it might be a comfort pick. I don't know. I kind of like, maybe a little bit less fragile with the block. I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about the Ana. The Ana is definitely better for the Ana. The question is the Ana better for everybody else? There's the point. There's the flank that we were looking for. It's much better timed. Kevster's there to try and catch it. The problem here is obviously it's like once Dive gets its ultimates. Oh, okay. Well, maybe not. The problem is that once Dive gets its ultimates, it's really hard to make work. But Kevs misses the pulse. The Primal gets slapped. So that's 2 ults for 0. The nade only hits Ram. Kevster gets his recall forced. And then Stalker somehow kills backline. And I assume they were trying to push with Rally. But Dawnhack just nukes them before they even do that. So again, replay viewer moment. No idea what actually happened, but that's my guess. Still winnable for GLADS because, you know, Rally. But it's honestly pretty well played by Atlanta there. Oh, don't lose point. Yeah, that was good. That was really nicely done by Atlanta. Honestly, GLADS just kind of fumbled the bag again. A little bit of mechanics there from Dante. Like getting slept there is just like it's brutal. Okay. Tracer controlling top. Cassie angling from here. Ramattra angling from here. Honestly, your Ana can just kind of park herself here, and the Lucio can kind of sit up on this wall here and pocket the Cassidy. Brig and Ram feel so mad. Yeah. I don't know why they ran out on a Brig. I assume, well, actually, I do know why. I promise it's because they were expecting a ball rollout. Almost certainly on this map, which is not very good in this map, but it's understandable. And then it looks like Chio and Stalker. I think Chio and Stalker try and 2v1 Kevster, and I think it actually works. So I think Kev just kind of gets shanked. It looks like he just gets one shot essentially. So a couple of good shots from Chio that happened off screen. So you're gonna take my word for it. Ramattra zoning backline. At the same point in time, we need people taking angles on Dante and point to force him up. So whenever when you use Nemesis form, you want to see bubble plus jump from Dante forced. So we're probably gonna see that force. They're gonna enable. Yeah. So they actually were ignoring Winston. They're going more for backline there, which I don't really agree with, to be honest with you. Like Lip here is going for Cass, but really, honestly, oh geez, I just closed down the window. Hello? I fat fingered something. Surely, chat, nothing will end in flames. Sorry, guys. I don't think that was necessary. I think simply taking an angle for Winston on point first would have been reasonable. So, like, right now, the problem is that yes, you're up one, but this guy still has, again, flashbang, still has cooldowns. Just shoot this guy, right? Shoot this guy while Ram is zoning, force him out, then we can walk forward and actually clean up kills. Lip is kind of skipping steps. He's going for backline, and that's going to force an amp. And then now Dante still has bubble. Even though he gets slept, though, he's zoning backline. And now Donghak is cooked. Yeah, you know, Dante should not have gotten slept there. That's a misplay by both of the tanks. But honestly, the fact that they traded there is crazy to me. That should not have happened. That should have been an Atlanta Reign easy team wipe. Glads are just going. I guess it's because they have Nano. Yeah, it's a little bit ballsy. Kai is... There's the movement, right? Oh, so they just go. Dante gets back sooner because monkey jump. That bubble helps zone out a lot. Chio gets caught. How does Chio die? Chio just gets yoinked as he's in rotation. That's a good pulse by Kevster. That's it. And this is a bad one too because they're going to be able to clean up this fight. This is going to be a late stagger. Yeah, and they might even get Chio here. Oh, if they don't, that's it. That's it right there. Oh, Chad. See, I'm caster cursing. Stalker's still in the back line. I didn't even realize Stalker was still back there. I thought Stalker died. Caster cursing. All right. Panic, panic, panic. Big pulse bomb. Good touch. Really, really well played by Stalker there. Getting the touch and grabbing the Mega. Oh, no. Fielder dies. Maybe. Maybe. Dante should die. They force the flip. Can Donghak get his shield back? He needs a shield. He needs a shield. He needs a shield. He needs to get out. He needs to get out. Oh, no, he falls. Or should he? Did he want to fall? Maybe he wanted to fall. Chio, come on, Chio. Oh, no, Chio! Oh, no! Oh, Chio! Oh, no!
Work here and Lip is switched back over to the Somber 50% towards that. Dante's diving in. The tempo beat is
no. Ah, man, Chio has had a terrible series. Do you think Don actually put more attention on a Gladiator DPS? It's hard to see from his POV what he could see. Dude, Chio's had a horrible series. Oh, I don't even think the oh, Ajax, but then this fight is still going, ladies and gentlemen. He might die. He should die. Wait. This is... Oh, Kevster's got a 3v1. Shouldn't have typed Ajax, idiot. Oh, man, Chio. This could go either way. Atlanta has the ultimates for it. Probably early tempo EMP, and then just honestly ignore Cassidy because you know it's coming. Oh, they go for Cass. That shouldn't have happened. But yeah, see, this is... I'm glad. But why is Lastro there? Why is Lastro getting EMP'd? Oh, Lastro's gotten isolated so many times. It's actually unbelievable. That's a monstrous kill. Easy fight win. That's gonna be it. Surely. No, Chad, every time! I just knew it! I was like, no, it's Surely. No. Oh, Lip. What happens to Lip? Does Lip just get tapped? Yeah, he gets 2 tapped. They try to set the dive. Kevster kills Fielder. No way, guys. No way. Chio, please don't die again. No way. Good play, Donghak. Smart play, Donghak. Punish the overextension. Can he clear Kevster? Yes, they do clear to Kevster. That's really smart from Donghak there, playing slow and not trading for the point. It's not worth it. C9, type it! Yes, Chio, type the C9! Wow, that's wild. Oh my gosh, what a series, yo. This is crazy. Yeah, Lastro and Chio just taking turns to see who's gonna goof it up. Oh my gosh. Jeez, man, this is crazy. Okay, let's keep watching. Here comes the dive mirror, probably. So this is dive, aggro. This is no, we don't want you to dive. We're gonna mark your off angles. We're gonna poke you out. We're gonna punish you.
To continue procking that overtime in Atlanta Reign.
So they do get control of this mega fast because ball slam, they got there first, mega hack, and so on.
Somewhat of a robbery there, and we're now one sub-map away from going into the final four at the very end.
Now, I'm gonna be honest. If GLADS stay in this choke, then it's gonna be more on Atlanta Reign making a mistake than GLADS popping up. What GLADS need to do is Kiri better in ball comps? Not necessarily. It's just that Ana's better in Winston comps, for lack of a better, you know what I'm saying? The Ana is just not as useful with Nano. It's basically the TLDR, and it also allows your composition to be like super like flexible and mobile. Okay. GLADS will at some point likely need to take an off angle here with their Cassidy and or Tracer. You cannot have your backline entirely pocketed in here because even though you have the better poke, you don't have better poke when you're all in here. Because they can actually take angles and shoot this guy out without actually peeking your backline. A lot more Ashe? I don't know. It's a good question. I don't think so. I think Ashe also received a pretty significant nerf. Also, this is insanity. Does Kiri go in with that dive? I think does she go in with the dive? I think you have to be a lot more cautious because of the Winston, right? So the Winston can trade a lot easier. I don't even know where the backline is. Kiri... I don't know where Kiri is. That's Lip. That's not Kiriko. Where's Kiriko, guys? Maybe just on main? Maybe just on main spamming, honestly. I can't see. Oh, Dong! Go, Dong! Ah! Forced it. We just needed to reset and just chill. Oh, man. Atlanta actually trolls that. Oh my gosh, Kai. They just needed to chill. He was on point. Alright. Now this is a big deal because now you have power positions for your on-a-brig casts. Also, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Let's go back to this actual dive here. Unfortunate. You should never play on a brig and let a ball get that big of an engage. I know it's tricky because you have to worry about Summer and Tracer, but man, oh man, oh man, oh man, that should never have happened. Atlanta really earned that one, to be honest with you. Alright. Cassidy on high ground. What is Lastro smoking? What is Lastro smoking? Lastro? Why are we at the floor? Good early poke from Kai. Kai should have a buddy here. Yep, there it is. I was gonna say, where's Lastro? I like the aggression. Like once they use cooldowns, we need to be actively pushing this dive comp ahead of time before we get in trouble. Good peel. Ah. I honestly think this has been reasonably executed from both sides, honestly. GLADS just have the map control advantage. Lastro has to play together with Winston, right? Too soon. Dante needs to get out. Dante needs to get out. Dante needs to get out. Dante doesn't die. That's actually massive. They're going to walk forward. There's the nano. It's a good nano. Good zoning. They're going to catch Kevster or catch Stalker. It's really well played, honestly, by GLADS. They don't force anything. They're waiting. Dante doesn't force it. They reset. And now the problem here is obviously we're playing into rally. So rallies. We might even see a rally in the next few seconds, really. Like rally now.
On the elevator. For the high
Honestly, I would not have been surprised if we'd seen rally then.
one last
Rally now. Surely.
in the back. Stealthful.
Ooh. He got really lucky that worked out.
Stealthful. EM.
I would have liked to have seen a Kiriko TP here. Do we see a Kiriko TP here? We do. Okay. I was expecting that because you're going to go with him with EMP into a rally. You're playing for an all-in on the dive.
The rally is there. Is it enough
Yeah.
to reinforce them through the
So even if GLADS lose this, it's actually a really quite nice trade. That was double supportal, EMP, and pulse bomb.
that were put in by Pavel and last
And I think the reason why that went so well is they get the pixel perfect
one last chance.
rally.
Lip in the back.
Honestly, it was a little late. And Babel dodges the EMP.
MP
So we get a fat nade,
lands on to
which is forced Isuzu and beat.
to reinforce them through
That's pretty well played by GLADS.
is still alive. Makai goes down. Lip
Our ball comp just inherently more consistent, or is it some 2-7 put the effort in min-max the comp? I mean, it's just, I don't know if the comp is as good. That's the thing, is like ball, it's just like, it might be good, it might not, I don't know. Like, he's a harder hero to play mechanically, so it's harder to know like how good the hero actually is because fewer players are as good at ball as they are at Winston.
Atlanta had to win just to win that singular fight because they knew if Lastro had kept that armor.
So phenomenal job by GLADS there, all things considered. I think the rally could have been teeny bit sooner because that was honestly way too close. Now Atlanta probably wants to hit somewhere around here. Okay, they missed the opportunity, time to reset, go again because it's a big open space.
To work with besides the minefield from Donghak.
Probably see mines. Might force a defensive nano. Donghak really needs to be healed. He needs his mines. There's the pause. Was not expecting that. How long does the pause last? Only a few seconds.
ultimate.
That's all they have.
There's the mines.
Just gladiators.
With this
Pretty good mines. Again, it's actually astonishing how free Donghak is. Like, it feels like every engage he does, like, part of that is just mechanics. Like, he's just really good at these rollouts, right? Oh my gosh, Chio.
Los Angeles Gladiators. Here comes the minefield. Can they find
ultimate.
That's all they have right now. Los Angeles Gladiators. Here
Like, Kevster is just catching Chio every single time they go in. Like, they're trusting their backline to peel. So what they're doing
Singular ultimate.
is Kev is marking, and then once they get in on the engage, he's not focusing the ball. He's going, okay, the ball's gotten what he wants. I can't do anything more. Instead, I'm going to see who I can catch. This guy, pretty good. This guy also pretty good,
right now, Los Angeles
right?
Gladiators. Here comes the
To prevent the follow-up. Now Lucio's out, and Lucio's dead.
so is Chio.
That's crazy.
Find it as they ride.
Because that was a good minefield, right?
Some space. They're attempting.
They do get the flip though.
They've got the Deadeye. They're zoning them away.
Or no, they don't get the flip, sorry. So yeah, that was actually crazy.
Ride at the wall. It is Kai now nano boosted, gaining some
Kind of surprised at the nano.
manages to
Oh no, I'm not surprised at the nano. He was lower than I thought he was. Okay. Huge peel by GLADS.
ride at the wall. It is Kai now nano boosted, gaining some space. They're attempting to pump.
Will they be able to dodge the EMP? They need to play cover. They need to bait this. They need to bait this.
Time is fading. Right.
There's EMP. The EMP is super fat. I don't know if the follow-up's there. The follow-up is not there. Okay.
They're diving in and out to keep it contested, but they only
That's it. That should be it, guys.
Dante now eliminating Fielder.
Oh.
Only Chio who can
Oh,
try and hold them
oh,
together.
that's definitely it. Surely.
Area of effect healing.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, GLAD's doing a really pretty good job of peeling off. It feels like Donghak's getting super fat engages, but it feels like the follow-up, it just isn't there from the backline, and Stalker was awfully quiet that map. So, yeah. What should Chio have done there? I really don't know that you can go that aggressively into that composition unless you're all-inning. Like, the problem with what they were doing there is they were using mines, but they had to know that they had a defensive nano there. So it's not likely that dive was going to lead to a direct kill unless Solidly Lip gets a fat hack. So I don't think Chio should have been there in the first place. Chio should have been with his Kiriko walking forward, trying to aggressively take space, maybe try to pressure Kevster out, maybe try to take a different angle. But you can't be in the middle of the dive unless you're going in really, really hard with a Kiriko TP plus a beat or something like that. Like, Chio goes in, but it wasn't earned. Like, they have defensive ultimates and ways of dealing with that. So it's like committing your jump really aggressively as Winston when they have trance, and then you just die for it, right? Stay with Kiriko. Yeah, Kiriko could have pressed W. Lucio should have and could have pressed W, but no, it was just Chio was getting caught in these awkward. And Chio's honestly had a lot of really silly deaths here.
And Lip is on the Sombra, as we all think should be the most compelling Sombra player that we have amongst the league, looking to work in tandem with the rest of the squad for the.
So they win high ground. There's a dive. Here comes Dolhack. It's a good dive. It's a good dive. Good trade by Kevster as well, though. I don't know where Chio is. Looks like Chio is going in. Where is Chio? I'm not sure. Because Babel gets naded. Fielder doesn't have defensive nade, but Fielder slowly gets whittled down. It's really hard to see what's happening with these backlines. I think the more likely story to me is how these sleep darts are being used. And think little things like tracking, right? It might just be straight up mechanics too.
Inspire's doing a lot of healing and keeping everyone alive. Kevster is still a force to be reckoned with here, and we haven't swapped yet.
Yeah, and Chio actually gets out scot-free there with like 40 HP. You can see the chase coming down from.
Because the initial dive from Atlanta was fine. Obviously, oh my gosh, that's just crazy. I mean, Kevster is just doing so much. I think Chio was peeling there, but peeling unsuccessfully. Like, Ana Lucio is a skill matchup versus Winston Tracer, you know? It's something... Something has to go wrong there. I mean, Fielder did use nade aggressively, but yeah, I want to see. The brick is also an interesting one. Okay, whoop. Oh my gosh. It's crazy to me how, like, inconsistent the spy checking is here. Like, I think the priority for Lastro is, like, to whip shot the Winston. And he does hit it, but I don't even think that they know they have EMP. Jeez, dude. I don't even think they realized that they had EMP. Otherwise, I think the priority goes in spy checking Sombra if she has EMP, than hitting the whip shot.
That's a world championship nade if I've ever seen one from Fielder. I mean, what an unreal dive that was.
I mean, Yaki is a phenomenal tracer, guys. But yeah, Kev is making an argument for never, ever being on the bench. Ever. It does feel like Lip and Kevster are taking turns, yeah. Which to me is a little bit of a bad commentary on how these backlines are playing. Like, we're talking about, like, it just doesn't feel like there's been as many dives that have been able to successfully peeled. And I don't, without looking at backline POV, I don't know if it's just mistakes or what. So there's the early rally that peels off the nano. It's a good disengage from Dawnhack. Now we can re-engage with Primal. That's going to force a defensive nano as well. And then they re-engage with Beat. So it's honestly double support. Like, the nano from Babel feels really unnecessary here. I'm not going to lie. Like, the nano and rally both being forced from just a nano means that you've opened yourself wide open to a Primal and or Beat engage. So I do not like that from GLADS at all. That rally was more than enough to peel off that dive. But then again, like, why? How is Fielder dying in Beat? What are we doing with our nades? What are we doing with the sleep darts? How are you positioned? Does mean Atlanta has like a weak point here because it's obviously Primal versus no Primal. Oh my gosh. He just gets tapped. That sucks. That might not even force a Primal. That's, oh, GLADS, get greedy. Oh man, how does Fielder dying? Where is Fielder? I don't know where Fielder is. Oh, Kai almost dies. I'm not sure where Fielder was. It looked like he was back towards Mega, but yeah, that's a way too cheap of a fight. Cheap of a fight. Lip does have EMP. So I want to see some more spy checking from GLADS here, because there's really only EMP that they have to worry about. So if they're able to spy check Lip a little bit better than they have been, this fight might be a lot easier for them to play up. And Dante doesn't need any help, so we don't need to worry about him. There's the spy checking. He's literally just... Oh no, that's not spy checking. I'm getting confused. It's getting late, chat. There's the spy checking. Did they just walk into it? They just walked into it. Yikes. That being said, Babel does dodge it, which is theoretically helpful. How does Chio die? Yeah, I mean, Kevster is just catching Chio every time, and he's not able to play around his Winston bubble very well. And then they're selling Fielder because they're thinking backline trade. They're going to Primal Rage backline. Let's just leave. But the problem here is that Kevster plays the peel, Dante plays the dive, and both of them win their duels. Kevster plays to Mark and kills... Where is Kevster? I can't even see Chio here. Where's Chio? I think Chio goes in with a dive. I don't see Kevster. So somehow Kevster kills Chio on the dive, and yet we also have Dante on Fielder, and somehow Fielder also fails to land the sleep dart, even though Dante doesn't have bubble. So this is what keeps happening. Like I don't want to, like, without being able to look at replay code, it's hard to say, but Chio and Fielder are dying to stuff that really shouldn't be happening. Every fight feels like somehow Fielder or Chio we're not. It shouldn't be happening, guys. Like, that was a great EMP setup. Backline just melted. You have Dante and Kevster defensively diving, and yet somehow Chio and Fielder die. Right. I'm really disappointed with Fielders and Chio's performance this entire match, I think. Been very unimpressed with, honestly, the support play from both sides, but it's basically that Lip, Kevster is just mauling their backline. Like, Dante should be getting abused here, and Dante is doing more of the abusing than anything else. That's a huge stick. Huge stick from Kai. Good early pressure from Kevster. He's looking for the pulse. They get on the backline. He doesn't get anything, goes back, doesn't hit the... He does hit the pulse. There's the peel that we were missing, but now Fielder dies to anti-nade. Rally from Lasso, this game, game's over. This game's over. Fielder doesn't even get his nano off. Look at that. Fielder's 94 in nano and dies. Jeez, man. That's actually insane. Honestly, GLADS deserved it. I don't think Atlanta's backline deserved that one at all. Which is crazy to say with a Twilight Chio backline, or Fielder Chio backline, but they didn't deserve it. I don't think Laster played particularly well on some maps, but it felt like which backline's going to troll less versus these performances from Lip and Kevster. That's why Mayhem won. RuPaul and Showwrong played really well this tournament. Yeah, makes sense. Again, without really looking at POVs, it's hard to say what went wrong. I don't know if it was missed sleep darts, missed position, whatever. But yeah, I don't think the support play was particularly good this time around. A lot of missed positions, even from GLADS at points. Sometimes it looked clunky. I think you could definitely blame part of it on the level of play is so high here that those positions were getting punished more than they normally would. But at the same time, I can't pretend that what we saw today was like good. It could have been a lot better, I think, from both ends. But obviously, especially Atlanta, when it counted, just it didn't hit. Any news on Al replay viewer? Allow my sarcastic and bitter chuckle answer that for you.